Chapter 95. At Cloud Manor. A few bodyguards were guarding the entrance of the living room, expressionless. An assistant in a black suit was checking Pei Yutong's luggage. Outside the floor-to-ceiling windows, Pei Yuqing, who was dressed in loose pajamas, was sitting on the couch in the middle of the room. He held a cigarette between his long fingers as he leaned against the couch. Pei Yutong fell to his knees and wailed. "Big brother, I'm begging you. Please spare me this time. I won't dare to do it again. President Pei, third young master's luggage has been prepared. We can head to Country Y now. The school has also been arranged. It's the private school that you personally chose. It's a closed management system. We can start the enrollment process tomorrow morning," the assistant reported respectfully. Pei Yutong glared at the assistant like a wolf cub. F***CKU. I'm not going. I'd rather die than go to that D***Ned place. Pei Yutong howled as he crawled over to Pei Nanshu. Second brother, save me. Say something please. Help me persuade my brother. Pei Nanshu sighed softly, looking helpless. Yutong, don't you know Big Brother well? I've said everything I need to say. If I continue to plead for you, it will only add fuel to the fire. Pei Yutong hastily asked. What about my father? Did you ask him? What did he say? Pei Nanshu shook his head. Father said that he would listen to Big Brother's arrangements. Pei Yutong was shocked. F***CK. Is he my biological father? Is he going to abandon his biological son because he's afraid of my brother? Pei Yutong had no choice but to plead with Pei Yuqing. Big brother, what happened tonight was an accident. Song Yaonan deserves a beating. I was drunk and couldn't control myself. That's why I hit him. Please, I have performed well for the past 2 years. Please give me another chance. I beg you, big brother. Pei Yuqing gently puffed out a puff of smoke, his eyes emotionless behind his glasses. Ching Mo, send him off personally. The assistant nodded and replied, yes. Then he turned to Pei Yutong. Third young master, please. Pei Yutong sat there in a daze. Instantly, all the blood in his body froze. He felt as though the sky was about to collapse. He knew that his brother would never change his mind about the decision he had made. He was done for. After 2 years of hard work, it was all for naught. Pei Yutong hugged Pei Nanshu's leg tightly. Second brother, save me. Pei Nanshu didn't seem to be able to bear it. He probed, Big brother, third brother has been doing well these past 2 years. He has improved a lot. I've investigated what happened tonight. Although third brother was the one who attacked first, the other party was the one who provoked him. There's a reason for this. Third brother didn't create trouble for no reason. Pei Yutong nodded repeatedly as hope reignited in his eyes. Pei Yuqing glanced at Pei Nanshu with a faint smile. Why? Are you going to interfere? Pei Nanshu felt a strong sense of oppression from the other party's seemingly casual gaze. Cold sweat trickled down his forehead as he replied, I'm just stating the facts. Of course, I think your decision is the right one. Perhaps Pei Yuqing had been too restrained in the past 2 years, so he had forgotten how tyrannical his big brother was. How dare he question his decisions again and again? Pei Yutong was speechless as he watched all the reinforcements die. Chapter 96. Cheng Mo pushed 2 huge suitcases and stood beside Pei Yutong without saying a word. When Pei Yutong didn't move, he glanced at the 2 bodyguards at the door. The 2 bodyguards understood and walked forward together. Third young master, please don't make things difficult for us. Pei Yutong struggled. No, I'm not leaving. Sorry. The 2 bodyguards glanced at each other and had no choice but to hold Pei Yutong's side. The 2 bodyguards had undergone professional training, so Pei Yutong didn't have the ability to retaliate. Besides, he didn't dare do anything in front of his big brother. F***CK. Let go of me. Just as he was about to be dragged into the car, a girl's meek voice was heard. Sorry to interrupt. Lin Yan had just stepped in when she saw Pei Yutong and his luggage being held down by 2 burly men. Pei Yutong was crying and wailing loudly. She couldn't help but feel frightened. It seemed like Pei Yutong hadn't been exaggerating. When Pei Yutong saw Lin Yan, He felt as though he had seen his own father. He pushed the two bodyguards aside and dashed towards Lin Yan. Daddy! Daddy! You're finally here! Pei Nanshu was speechless. Pei Yuqing was speechless. The two bodyguards and assistant were dumbfounded when they heard Pei Yutong's earth-shattering, "Daddy." Lin Yan glanced awkwardly at her idol and boyfriend before she gritted her teeth and glared at Pei Yutong. Watch your words. If he called her daddy, what would become of her relationship with Pei Nanshu and Pei Yuqing? Pei Yutong was aggrieved. Big sister-in-law, I don't want to go to Country Y to stay in that huge villa. I don't want to go to that rich school. I don't want to come back to inherit the Pei family's fortune. Please save me. Lin Yan was rendered speechless. Save my A*S. Why did she feel like beating him to death when she heard his words? Pei Yuqing's expression didn't change in the slightest as he faced his girlfriend, whom he hadn't contacted in 7 days. The night shrouded in through the window. Half of the man's face was illuminated by the light in the living room, and the other half was in the shadows of the night. His eyes, which were as cold as the moonlight behind the glasses, were stained with a trace of coldness, as deep as the deep sea tens of thousands of miles below. Lin Yan wasn't used to the sudden change in their relationship, so she felt awkward when they met. She didn't even know what to say. After all, she had lied about having a crush on him for many years. To her, Pei Yuqing was just a stranger whom she had met a few times. Furthermore, his status was far beyond her reach. Lin Yan rolled her eyes at him and pushed him away in disdain. Then, she greeted Pei Yuqing awkwardly. Ahem. Mr. Pei. Hello. Pei Yuqing pinched the cigarette between his fingers as his eyes, which were as cold as the moon, landed on her face. Miss Lin, good evening. Lin Yan tilted her head and glared at him. She lowered her voice and said, See? I'm not close to your big brother. I don't even know what to say to him. How am I supposed to plead for you? Pei Yuqing's attitude made her suspect that what had happened that day had been a hallucination. Chapter 97. Pei Yutong clutched at this last straw of hope. I don't care. Daddy, you have to save me. You can't just watch as I'm sent away. I'm so weak, pitiful, and helpless. Can you bear to do that? Lin Yan replied, I can bear to do that. If he couldn't race, he would have to come back and inherit the family fortune. How weak, pitiful, and helpless. His ostentatious display of wealth had blinded the eyes of a poor person like her. Pei Yutong quipped, But Daddy, you've already accepted my red packets. Lin Yan felt guilty when she heard Pei Yutong. Her hands had gone soft because of him. This kid's red packets were huge. All 4 of them were 188 yuan. Why couldn't she control her hands? Lin Yan blinked and asked, her heart aching. Is it too late if I return them to you now? Pei Yutong's heart ached even more. It's too late. My phone has been confiscated, and my card has been sealed. It's useless even if you return them. Lin Yan was speechless. Who asked you to be so mean? Who asked you to be so mean? Why did you have to accept red packets? Pei Yuqing, who was sitting on the couch, glanced at the two of them. Miss Lin, are you looking for me? Pei Yutong pushed Lin Yan hastily. Hurry up. My brother is looking for you. You're a liar. Lin Yan gritted her teeth and glared at him. Then, she hurried back to Pei Yuqing in a fluster. Yes. I have something important to discuss with you. Forget it. Who asked her to be so helpful? For the sake of love and justice, for the sake of her hot-blooded dreams, she had to give it her all. However, if she tried to persuade him, she might get herself into trouble. Hence, she couldn't just say that she was here to plead for Pei Yutong. They hadn't contacted each other for 7 days. Would it make sense for her to suddenly come here to plead for someone else? Her image would definitely crumble. Therefore, before pleading for leniency, she had to stabilize her own image first. Right. Persona. She was madly in love with Pei Yuqing. She had even become a stalker. Hence, they had just confirmed their relationship. Absence made the heart grow fonder. They hadn't seen each other for 7 days, so how should she behave in a way that wouldn't be out of place? Pei Yuqing glanced at her. Really? Yes. The gears in Lin Yan's head spun furiously. She had recently learned how to write a character biography for the script. She tried to simulate the behavior of the lecherous personality. Hence, Lin Yan gritted her teeth and shut her eyes. Then, she whizzed toward Pei Yuqing like a train. Then, she threw herself into his arms. In the past, she had been forced to molest him. However, for the sake of her persona, she had no choice but to continue. She felt that she had committed too much sin. By the time Pei Yuqing regained his senses, the girl's body, which was mixed with the refreshing scent of the shower gel, was already in his arms. A trace of astonishment flashed across the man's usually calm eyes. In the blink of an eye, his eyes turned as dark as the night. His body leaned a little because of the girl's sudden charge, and he subconsciously placed one of his hands on the girl's waist. Lin Yan activated her acting skills, which she had recently honed, to make herself look like a young lady in love. The truth was that she was taking the initiative to get close to this man. She didn't even need to put on an act to know that she was in love. My important thing is, I miss you. Chapter 98. Pei Yutong was speechless. Hadn't she just said that they weren't close? Pei Yutong wasn't the only one who was shocked. The two bodyguards were shocked as well. The bodyguards watched as a casually dressed girl lunged at their boss. Their first reaction was to rush forward to protect her. Pei Nanshu, who was standing beside them, signaled them with his eyes and reached out to stop them. This wasn't the first time Lin Yan had approached Pei Yuqing. She had fallen on him the last time, touched him in the hospital, and done something even more disrespectful in the villa. However, this was the first time Lin Yan had taken the initiative to approach Pei Yuqing when she was sober. Besides, she had to say such mushy words. She was really shameless. Pei Yuqing was only wearing a thin, knitted shirt. Although one of her hands had narrowly avoided his body and pressed it against the sofa, her other hand wasn't steady. She pressed it against the man's abdomen through the thin fabric and could clearly feel the taut lines of his muscles. Oh my God! Damn it! Lin Yan hurriedly tried to stand up. However, she was too flustered and her hands slipped, causing her to fall again. This time, both of her hands were pressed on the man's body. Lin Yan watched as the man's clothes were wrinkled and felt guilty. I'm sorry. I didn't do it on purpose. Lin Yan cursed herself inwardly, but she had to continue her act. She hurriedly said, Your eyebrows aren't eyebrows. They're the reflection of the moon in the water. Your eyes aren't eyes. They're the dazzling galaxy and your mouth isn't a mouth. It's the last rose on this planet. I didn't mean to fall just now. I've been suffering from hypoglycemia because I haven't seen you in a long time. Pei Yutong was speechless. Pei Nanshu was speechless. The bodyguards were speechless as well. The onlookers couldn't help but gasp in amazement when they saw that Lin Yan had blurted out all these words without even thinking about it. Pei Yuqing seemed to be startled as well. Then, he lowered his eyes and chuckled softly. His voice was as hoarse as a cello. Hypoglycemia? Lin Yan coughed. Ahem. Yes. Damn it, this is too shameful. For love and justice, she really gave it her all. Pei Yuqing's eyes were filled with ripples. He didn't say anything. Instead, he reached out to support the girl's waist to prevent her from falling. Then, he removed his glasses slowly. Lin Yan was speechless. Without his glasses, it was as if the mountain wind had blown away the thick fog. The man's charming eyes were completely revealed to her. Lin Yan's heart raced. Pei Yuqing, who had taken off his glasses, was simply mesmerizing. This was too much of a crime. Just as Lin Yan was reeling from shock, the man pressed the back of her head gently with his other hand. In the next second, a kiss, as gentle as a dandelion falling on a field and as gentle as a breeze caressing the surface of a river, landed on her lips. At a distance where they could hear each other's breath, the man asked, Still low? Lin Yan was speechless. Chapter 99. The bodyguards and assistants were dumbfounded by the sudden display of affection from their boss. Pei Yutong had just snatched the suitcase back from his assistant, but he didn't hold it properly. With a loud thud, it landed on his foot, causing him to grimace in pain. Lin Yan snapped back to her senses when she heard Pei Yutong's groan. She shook her head and scurried away. No. It's not low anymore. Her blood sugar had skyrocketed. Wasn't this first love? How could he be so good at flirting? Who could resist this? Honestly speaking, Pei Yuqing's kiss had been so light that she couldn't even feel it. He had only touched her once, and he had been very polite and restrained. However, It had made her heart race even faster than the last lap of the track. One of the bodyguards couldn't help but ask Pei Yutong, Third young master. Who is this woman? Pei Yutong replied proudly, My father. The bodyguard was speechless. Pei Yutong replied, My big brother's girlfriend. My future sister-in-law. The two bodyguards glanced at each other in shock. They had been working for their boss for years, and countless women had thrown themselves at him. However, they had never seen their boss fall for them. How could he suddenly have such an intimate girlfriend? After all, this was their boss's private matter, so they didn't dare probe further. They hurriedly got back to work. Third young master, you should leave now. Yeah, don't make things difficult for us. Leave? What do you mean leave? I'm not leaving. I won't leave even if I die. Pei Yutong began to howl again. Big sister-in-law. Big sister-in-law. You have to control me. Lin Yan snapped back to her senses when she heard Pei Yutong's howl. She had been so engrossed in his beauty that she had almost forgotten what she had to do. Mr. Pei. Lin Yan glanced at Pei Yuqing and said tentatively, I've heard about what happened to third young master. It's indeed wrong to drink and get into a fight. However, Song Yaonan isn't a good person either. I've even met him once before. He was clearly trying to provoke third young master and set him up. I'm sure that third young master didn't do it on purpose this time. He must have fallen into his trap. Pei Yutong nodded vehemently. Big brother, big sister-in-law is right. That bastard provoked us on purpose. There was no warmth in Pei Yuqing's eyes. The other party is provoking you. So you don't even have the basic ability to distinguish and control yourself? Pei Yuqing's gaze was so cold that it made one shiver. Pei Yutong didn't dare to look his brother in the eye. He shrunk his head and didn't even dare to breathe loudly. Lin Yan, who felt immense pressure, replied meekly, That's true, but third young master is still young. It's normal for a boy of his age to be impulsive. Pei Yutong nodded in agreement. Yeah, that's right. Isn't it normal for a boy my age to get into a fight? Pei Yuqing replied, Being young isn't a reason to make a mistake. I don't need to know the reason either. You've set the rules with me. Since you've violated them, you have to pay the price. Pei Yutong lowered his head even more guiltily. Chapter 100. It was no wonder that Pei Yutong had turned to her for help. Pei Yuqing was completely stubborn. Besides, he was the one in the right. After a few sentences, she felt as though she had been brainwashed. Trying to reason with him was impossible. Pei Yuqing was a principled man, so he wouldn't make an exception. This was too difficult to deal with. She wasn't the type to argue. She had never won a single argument with Han Yishuan. She had to compromise every single time because she couldn't out-talk him. Lin Yan sighed and shot Pei Yutong a look that said, I've tried my best. Good luck. I'll burn joss paper for you next year. Pei Yutong knew this very well. He had been struggling because he wasn't willing to give up. The young man stared at the documents on the coffee table. The last ray of light in his eyes dimmed as he clenched his fists tightly. With reddened eyes he said, I didn't fulfill my promise. It's my fault. I'll leave. Lin Yan had no other choice. She inched closer to Pei Yuqing and tugged at the man's sleeve gently. I'm sorry. I know that this is your family's business and I shouldn't interfere. But can you give third young master another chance? Pei Yuqing was speechless. Lin Yan replied, Just give him another chance. Please. I beg you. Pei Yuqing didn't speak. His cold eyes darted from the girl's pleading eyes to the hand that was tugging at his sleeve. Lin Yan coughed softly. If you really can't do it, forget it. After some time, Lin Yan was about to send Pei Yutong off when she suddenly heard a man's voice. Pei Yuqing replied, Sure. Lin Yan was speechless. Pei Nanshu was speechless. Pei Yutong was speechless. What had he just heard? Lin Yan looked incredulous. You agreed? Why is this happening? Why had he agreed all of a sudden? She felt that she couldn't persuade him. I can give him another chance, Pei Yuqing replied firmly. Lin Yan couldn't help but ask, Why did you suddenly agree? Pei Yutong and Pei Nanshu turned to look at their brother. They knew their big brother's temperament too well. With his IQ, no one could convince him. His principles would never be broken for anything. Hence, Pei Yuqing had merely asked coldly, Are you going to interfere? Pei Nanshu gave up on trying to reason with him. Pei Yuqing's eyebrows curled into a faint smile as he studied the girl. It's not wise to reason with your girlfriend. Lin Yan was speechless. It was a knowing strike. This was simply. The moment the man finished speaking, Lin Yan felt her heart thump wildly again. The man before her had been cold and aloof just a second ago. However, a second later, he had turned into a doting and compromising man. Pei Yutong was speechless. Wasn't this too discriminatory? Pei Yuqing added, besides, you can intervene. Lin Yan was still in a daze, so she didn't understand him. What do you mean? Pei Yuqing replied, my family matters. You can intervene in my family matters. Chapter 101. After Pei Yuqing relented, his assistant and bodyguards left. Pei Yutong and Pei Nanshu left as well, leaving Lin Yan and Pei Yuqing alone in the living room. Lin Yan had always felt that her relationship with Pei Yuqing wasn't real. She had also felt that Pei Yuqing was superior and distant from her. She had never imagined that Pei Yuqing would change his mind because of a few words from her. Pei Yuqing strode to the pool outside the floor-to-ceiling windows while Lin Yan trailed behind him. The night was as cold as water, and the stars shone on the surface of the water. Mr. Pei, can I ask you a question? What is it? Well, why did you agree to my confession so casually? Why did you agree to let me be your girlfriend? Lin Yan finally asked. She was really curious. Although she had thought of many reasons, she still found it unbelievable. Pei Yuqing tilted his head and gazed at her. Did you think that I agreed casually? Lin Yan, who was startled, hastily waved her hands. No. I didn't mean that you were casual. I was just surprised. After all, you don't belong to the same world as me. You didn't take the initiative to contact me, so I thought that you were just saying that casually. Actually, after I went home, I thought about it for a long time and I regretted it for a long time. I felt that what I said that day was too much. Actually, I just wanted to watch you from afar. I was disrespectful to you that night because I was drunk. I swear that I only have pure admiration for you. I don't have any other dirty thoughts. I didn't expect you to agree, so. Pei Yuqing glanced at her nonchalantly. So. Lin Yan swallowed her saliva and was speechless. So, why don't we break up? The word break up was on the tip of her tongue. In the end, she changed her mind and said, So. I will cherish you even more. I will love you even more. I will love you even more. I will be devoted to you until death. Pei Yuqing studied the girl's nervous expression and chuckled. Are you afraid of me? Lin Yan chuckled awkwardly. No. That's just respect. That's all. You're like an otherworldly immortal to me. I can admire you from afar, but I can't play with you. I feel that dating me would be an insult to you. Sigh, why is it so hard to break up? Big boss. I really don't deserve you. Pei Yuqing remained silent for a long time. Lin Yan couldn't figure out what he was thinking. She felt a little flustered and couldn't help but sneak a peek at him. In the end, she met the man's eyes, which were darker than the night sky. What if it's not just for viewing from afar? The man said. Lin Yan's heart almost jumped out of her chest. What was the meaning of this? It couldn't be what she thought it was. Pei Yuqing reached out and gently massaged the girl's neck. Don't be nervous. I've told you that our relationship won't affect your life. You don't have to change your attitude, view, or even the way you address me. Everything can be done in a way that makes you comfortable. Lin Yan had initially wanted to break up with him, but her heart started to crumble because of his words. He really was a celestial boyfriend. Chapter 102. Lin Yan had no idea how she got back to her apartment. She felt like she was floating in the air. She had been dating Han Yishuan for years, but she had never felt so dizzy before. She had to calm down. She had to wake up early tomorrow for her photo shoot. Lin Yan had just laid down when her phone rang. This car isn't going to kindergarten, had typed. Big sister-in-law. I will never forget the favor of saving my life. If you need me in the future, I will do anything for you, even if I have to climb a mountain of swords or plunge into a sea of flames. This car isn't going to kindergarten, had typed. But big sister-in-law, your progress is a little slow. Why are you meeting Mr. Pei and Miss Lin? This car isn't going to kindergarten, had typed. Why don't I send my brother to your bed? That would be the fastest way to get to know him. Big sister-in-law. Will you consider it? Lin Yan was speechless. Could they not talk about such things in the middle of the night? Was she even going to sleep? Misty City amid the setting sun had typed. Forget it. I'm not that kind of person. Lin Yan's face darkened as she replied. Then, she turned on the silent mode and lay down to sleep. The next morning, Lin Yan woke up early. On her dressing table, there was a mess of cosmetics and skincare products. Other than some that had been given to her by her sponsors, she had bought them randomly. She wasn't interested in these things at all. Lin Yan rummaged through the mess and found a bottle of Nature Hall's Ice Muscle Lotion. She applied it to her face. She still knew about this kind of reliable national brand. Then she seriously did some basic skincare. Makeup was out of the question. Her skill points were really not on this kind of skill. Finally, she opened the wardrobe and glanced at it. The clothes she bought were all black and very loose. They were very comfortable to wear, but their aesthetics were indescribable. When she wore them, she looked like an old man buying vegetables at the market. She had used all the money she had received to pay for her rent, and a portion of it had been transferred to her mother's account. She only had some living expenses left, but she didn't have the funds to buy clothes. Hence, she had no choice but to choose a white dress. She recalled that when she had met Pei Yuqing the night before, she had been wearing the baggy pants and top that she had bought herself. She hadn't looked feminine at all. Pei Yuqing's gaze. Was there something wrong with him? Lin Yan. Wang Jingyang knocked on the door. Lin Yan got changed and opened the door. Wang Jingyang sized her up and gave her a look of disdain as usual. You haven't done anything for the past few days. I thought you were hacked to death at home by your fans. Lin Yan rolled her eyes at him. I told you that I'm cultivating in seclusion. I remember you are taking photos today. Do you want me to send you there? Wang Jingyang asked. Lin Yan shook her head. It's fine. I don't want anyone of the opposite sex within 10 steps of me. The corner of Wang Jingyang's mouth twitched. All right then, be careful. Lin Yan waved her hands. Okay. Wang Jingyang looked at her, wanting to say something but hesitating. In the end he muttered, don't be so hard on yourself. If you really can't do it, you can quit. Well, at least you still have me. Lin Yan nodded gratefully and patted Wang Jingyang's shoulder. Got it. Thank you. You're indeed my best brother. Wang Jingyang. Brother my ass. Chapter 103. Lin Yan greeted Wang Jingyang and prepared to head downstairs. However, she had barely taken a few steps when her dress, which was too long, caught on her high heels and tore it. Lin Yan cursed out loud. F***ck. This is my most expensive dress. Wang Jingyang rubbed his forehead, looking gloomy. Don't wear it if you don't like it. Don't make things difficult for yourself. Lin Yan stroked her chin. You're right. How am I supposed to escape if I'm dressed like this? Wang Jingyang was speechless. Lin Yan slipped back to her room and changed into a set of comfortable sportswear. This was Lin Yan's first film after her comeback. Zhao Hongling and Duo had come to pick her up personally. Lin Yan put on a mask and cap as she got into the car. Why did you come down dressed like this? Duo looked disdainful. Lin Yan sighed. I was wearing a dress, but my high heels tore it. Besides, I'm not used to wearing dresses. You have to make do with it. Duo was speechless. How did you manage to create this image? How can you be so crude? It's fine as long as you're dressed appropriately. I don't have any requirements. It's still early. You can take a break, Zhao Hongling said as she drove. Hee. Sister Ling is the best. Lin Yan replied gleefully. She had recovered from her stress disorder and could drive on her own. However, she still had to work hard to buy a car. She couldn't let Sister Ling fetch her all the time. Soon, they arrived at the location where the filming crew would be taking photos. Lin Yan was the first artist to arrive. When she arrived, the other artists weren't there yet. Only a group of crew members were busy preparing the set and lighting. She had just reached the entrance when she heard whispers and strange gazes. Hey look. Lin Yan. Lin Yan is here. F***ck. It's really her. Doesn't she like to wear a white dress every day? Doesn't she look like a delicate white lotus? I almost couldn't recognize her today. She must have changed her clothes because she's afraid that the fans might recognize her and beat her up. I've been in the entertainment industry for so long, but this is the first time I've seen such a disgusting woman. She only knows how to pretend to be weak to ride on other people's popularity. That's right. She's just a high school graduate. How dare she leech off Shin Chaomu and the others? She even claims that she's Han Yishuan's girlfriend. She's insane. I don't know how he managed to sneak into our production team. I'm afraid he's interested in Mr. Pei's popularity. He's out of his league. Duo noticed that their words were getting louder and louder. She hastily pressed Lin Yan's arm. Bear with it even if you're unhappy. Pretend that you didn't hear anything. You have the lowest status in this crew. Besides, they're right. Lin Yan was speechless. Personal assistant? Zhao Hongling said, given your current situation, it's best to keep a low profile. No matter what happens, don't give any response. Zhao Hongling was worried about Lin Yan's ability to manage public relations. Hence, she told her to keep a low profile and not do anything. Lin Yan replied obediently. Got it. I've even downloaded the game. I'll play my game later. Chapter 104. Lin Yan found a secluded corner and sat down. She put on her earphones and began to play Arena of Valor. She hadn't played in a long time, and her ranking had dropped to bronze. She had nothing better to do. Duo stared at Lin Yan, who seemed unreliable. She couldn't help but ask Zhao Hongling, Sister Ling, what are you thinking? Although Lin Yan has been assigned to work under you, she isn't under any control. She only listens to her sister and her assistant, which is why she has ruined everything that she has been able to do. She is just a pile of mud that can't be helped. She has ruined all the resources that you have worked so hard for. Even your reputation has been tarnished. In my opinion, you shouldn't care about someone like her. Zhao Hongling was expressionless as she replied calmly. Since I have signed her, I have to be responsible for her. However, if she continues to be stubborn, I can't help her. After all, she was in a precarious situation. Duo knew that Zhao Hongling was a principled person, so she wouldn't be able to change her mind. Hence, she could only mutter under her breath. I hope she doesn't cause any trouble. Sister Ling, who is the female lead of this movie? Why is the production team being so secretive? They haven't announced the makeup yet. Duo scanned the room before she pressed on curiously. Zhao Hongling replied, We will find out soon. Duo nodded. You're right. The makeup artist had to appear today. After a while, a commotion broke out at the entrance. A group of bodyguards and assistants escorted a female artist to the studio. Duo's face fell when she saw the woman in the middle. Jiang Sifei. Jiang Sifei had exquisite makeup on today and was wearing the latest Chanel dress. The slim cut accentuated her femininity and figure. She was dazzling and looked like a goddess. The woman in the champagne-colored suit beside her was House of Millions Media's top manager, Zhu Manqian. She was also Jiang Sifei's current manager. As soon as she saw the two of them, Duo's anger rose. Why is she here? Zhao Hongling's eyes flickered, but she remained silent. Jiang Sifei, who seemed to have seen them, didn't seem to have any intention of avoiding them. Instead, she turned around and walked toward Zhao Hongling. Jiang Sifei stood in front of Zhao Hongling and glanced at Lin Yan, who was engrossed in her game. She smiled and greeted her politely. Sister Ling, what a coincidence. Did you bring your artist here for a makeup test? Zhu Manqian chuckled when she saw Lin Yan. She raised her eyebrows and said exaggeratedly, Director Zhao, are you serious? I merely took Sifei with me. Yet you're only capable of managing artists like her? I heard that she's playing what's the female lead again? Oh, the fourth female lead? Zhu Manqian caressed her red nail polish as she said proudly, What a coincidence. Our Sifei is also here for a makeup test. However, Sifei is the female lead of this movie. After all, she has just joined our company. Take it as a small welcome gift from me as her manager. Jiang Sifei was the female lead of this movie. Chapter 105. Zhu Manqian sneered sarcastically. You can't say that. A good bird chooses a good tree to nest in. It's only right and proper. Xifei is such a good person. Isn't it a waste if she continues to follow an incompetent manager? Who are you calling incompetent? If it weren't for Sister Ling, would she be where she is today? How dare she strut around in front of Sister Ling? Jiang Xifei's face darkened when she heard this. She hated it when people attributed her success to Zhao Hongling. It was as though she was nothing without Zhao Hongling. She had been Zhao Hongling's puppet for so many years and had had enough of it. Besides, a small company like Star Entertainment wouldn't be able to provide her with any better resources. Zhu Manqian crossed her arms. If she was capable, why couldn't she get a decent female lead role? Didn't she see what kind of roles she gave our Xifei before? She was either a country girl or a delinquent. Tiskeske. I'm giving Xifei the role of the lead actress alongside Mr. Pei. Many people are dying to get this opportunity. Jiang Xifei's expression softened a little when she heard this. She was glad that she had made the decision to join House of Millions Media. After all, House of Millions Media was a subsidiary of Triumph Entertainment. It had recently been taken over by Triumph Entertainment's daughter, Lin Shuya. Naturally, she didn't lack resources. You. Sister Ling did this for. Duo wanted to retort, but Zhao Hongling stopped her. Actually, Jiang Xifei's looks were average. Zhao Hongling had chosen her because she felt that she had good potential and that she was good at acting. Hence, she had given her artistic films with deep meanings. She had hoped that Jiang Xifei would walk the path of a capable actress. The country girl that Zhu Manqian had mentioned was Jiang Xifei's masterpiece. She had won the Golden Palm Award for Best Supporting Actress. She had been confident that Jiang Xifei would win the Best Actress award if she had a few more years. It was a pity that Jiang Xifei had been blinded by the fame and fortune of the entertainment industry. Meeting One's Match had a good cast and was a big production. It was a movie that could be screened on the big screen. However, it was a commercial film with a male lead. She had read the script. The female lead was just a pretty face in the movie. Her role was to serve as a foil to the male lead. Jiang Xifei's performance in this role was beneath her. Besides, she wasn't good-looking enough to play this role. However, Zhao Hongling knew that Jiang Xifei wouldn't listen to her no matter what she said. Hence, she kept quiet. The reporters who had come to visit Jiang Xifei arrived one after another. All of them swarmed over to Jiang Xifei. This was Zhu Manqian's usual method of creating hype. These reporters must have been specially invited by her after she released the news. The reporter replied, Xifei, I heard that you have joined a new company, House of Millions Media. The female lead in Meeting One's Match is the first role that the new company has accepted for you. It's your first time acting with Mr. Pei. What are your thoughts? Jiang Xifei replied, I'm very excited to be working with Mr. Pei. I also want to thank my company, House of Millions Media, and my manager, Miss Zhu, for helping me secure this role. Working with House of Millions Media was the wisest decision I've ever made. Chapter 106. Jiang Xifei glanced at Zhu Manqian. This, Zhu Manqian quipped, someone purposely obstructed Xifei's career and forced her to accept lousy films. Xifei couldn't take it anymore, so she chose to leave. I hope that someone knows how to behave. Don't treat your artist as a money-making tool. Compared to Jiang Xifei's crowd, Zhao Hongling's side was deserted. There was no one around. Duoduo's eyes were bloodshot as she glared at the two of them. That ingrate. I'm so angry. Why are you so smug? If it hadn't been for Sister Ling, would she be where she is today? Not only is she ungrateful, but she is also trying to smear my name. No, I have to make things clear to the reporters. It's not what she said. Duo tried to squeeze her way through the crowd, but Jiang Xifei was surrounded. The reporters' attention was on Jiang Xifei, so no one was paying attention to them. One of the cameramen shoved Toto, causing the heavy equipment to slam into Toto. Ah! Duo staggered a step back and yelped in pain. Lin Yan, who had been playing games in a corner, removed her earphones and stretched lazily. Just as Duo was about to be knocked down again, Lin Yan grabbed her arm and pulled her aside. Lin Yan, why are you pulling me? I have to make things clear to them. Duo blurted out anxiously. Don't be anxious. It's easy to be the center of attention and make them listen to you, Lin Yan replied calmly. Duo replied.
Easy for you to say.
Who would listen to us? In the entertainment industry, people like us have no right to speak. Lin Yan was naturally aware of this. She didn't retort. Instead, she stood behind the reporters and said calmly, "Hello, everyone. Excuse me. Is there anyone who would like to interview me? F***CK. Who are you? Get lost." One of the reporters didn't even look back as he continued to interview Jiang Sifei. Lin Yan grinned.
I'm Lin Yan.
The moment Lin Yan spoke, the entire place fell silent. After a few seconds, everyone turned to look at the person who had spoken. F***CK. Lin Yan. Is that Lin Yan? Are you serious? Hadn't Lin Yan never accepted interviews? Every time, it's her assistant who comes forward.
Lin Yan coughed softly.
Ahem. Hello, everyone. That's me. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. The female lead at the center of the scandal was interviewed in person, which was much more explosive than the female lead's interview in this movie. What did Lin Yan's name represent? Her name meant gossip and breaking news. A few reporters from magazines and online platforms that focused on gossip couldn't help but rush over. However, there were many mainstream platforms that didn't care about her. Hence, they didn't make a move. Besides, they had been hired by Zhu Manqian. Naturally, they wouldn't leave.
Lin Yan scanned everyone and grinned.
Today, I will tell you everything I know. I can answer everything you want to know.
Lin Yan replied. Oh yeah.
For example,
Shen Xiaomu and I. The eyes of the remaining reporters lit up, and a small group of them ran over.
Lin Yan quipped. And the secret that I have to tell Wei Shufeng. As soon as she finished speaking, another group of reporters rushed over. Even the reporters that Zhu Manqian had hired couldn't hold back any longer. Lin Yan quipped. What happened between me and Tang Jia that night? What happened between me, Han Yishuan, and Lin Shuya? Why is Mr. Tang Jia involved in this? In an instant, almost all the reporters turned their cameras to face Lin Yan and dashed toward her with their cameras and microphones. There were many A-listers in the industry, and Jiang Sifei wasn't the most outstanding one. She didn't have much gossip to talk about. Chapter 107. Some time ago, Lin Yan had caused a scandal with Lin Shuya and Han Yishuan. Then, she had vanished without a trace, causing them to lose a lot of sales. After a long time, Lin Yan finally resurfaced. The moment she did, the entire entertainment industry was shaken by the scandal. This time, it was with Mr. Pei, and there was a picture of the truth. It was a pity that both parties denied it the moment it came out. No one in the entertainment industry dared to write about Pei Nanshu's scandals. Hence, such a huge and enviable gossip died down. It had never occurred to them that Lin Yan, who had never accepted interviews personally, would appear before the media. This was a ruthless person who could casually make big news out of anything he said. Today's trip was truly worth it. At the thought of this, the reporters went crazy. Regardless of whether they were from the mainstream media or the tabloids, they couldn't care less about being reserved. All of them swarmed over and completely forgot about Jiang Sifei. Who doesn't want traffic these days? Even the staff on the side unconsciously put down the work in their hands and stretched their necks to look over. Jiang Sifei, who had been the center of attention, was suddenly deserted. She stood there awkwardly in her luxurious gown. Zhu Manqian didn't expect that Zhao Hongling's underling would steal all the limelight with just a few words. Her face darkened. Hello. Hello. Reporter Jiang. Reporter Feng. Where are you going? She had spent a lot of money and connections to hire these reporters to support Jiang Sifei. In the end, they had all gone to Lin Yan. What was going on? Wasn't she just making a wedding dress for someone else? Lin Yan, that little B***TCH. How dare she try to gain popularity by rubbing her head? Zhu Manqian hadn't expected that Lin Yan would be this shameless. If anyone else had been scolded like this, they would have hidden away like a coward. She, on the other hand, actually swaggered out on her own. Unfortunately, those reporters were really hooked by her. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth curled up as she grinned at Zhu Manqian. Zhu Manqian was infuriated. It was all thanks to Lin Shuya. In order to smear her name, Lin Shuya had done everything she could to create a scandal. She had even brought up Pei Qian's name. In that case, She would make good use of her unique resources and turn her disadvantage into an advantage. She used the knife that Lin Shuya had used to stab her. Duo glanced at the reporters and recalled how Lin Yan had said that she had millions of haters. She was at a loss for words. Director Jiang Yiming and producer Feng Anhua, who had just entered the room, had assumed that the female lead, Jiang Sifei, would be surrounded by the reporters. They hadn't expected that Jiang Sifei would be standing alone in a corner. Lin Yan had managed to stir up all the reporters with just a few words. Producer Feng, look at this. What a scandal. We were just taking our photo, and it turned out like this. Jiang Yiming frowned. A glint flashed across Feng Anhua's eyes, and he said in a relaxed tone, It's fine, it's fine. Let her be. Why not take this kind of free publicity opportunity? She had been blacklisted by Triumph Entertainment for spreading rumors about Han Yishuan and Lin Shuya. Logically speaking, the crew did not want to use such a troublesome artist. Chapter 108. Instantly, all the reporters swarmed over and aimed their cameras in Lin Yan's direction. Lin Yan didn't tell anyone that she had been suffering from depression and insomnia ever since she had returned to the country. Perhaps because of the change in her mentality, she had been improving day by day, even though she hadn't done anything on purpose. She had been busy with her studies, and her diet had returned to normal. Her long-term insomnia had improved as well. She had simply gone to the bathroom in the morning, and her skin was in excellent condition. She was wearing a simple black sweater and a pair of slim jeans that accentuated her long, slender legs. Her long hair cascaded down her shoulders like strands of silk. She hadn't put on any makeup, and her skin wasn't as pale as it used to be. Instead, it was as fair and flawless as white jade. Not even her pores could be seen, and her skin glowed with a natural red. The girl removed her cap slowly, revealing her features. She had an exquisite nose, and her lips were the color of cherry blossoms. Her eyebrows looked as though they had been dyed with ink, and the corners of her peach blossom eyes were slightly arched. They shimmered like stars, and the lazy smile in her eyes was like the finishing touch to her beauty. Her entire face seemed livelier and livelier. Previously, when Lin Yan had spread rumors about Han Yishuan and Lin Shuya, the paparazzi had taken a photo of her. She looked like an unkempt ghost. All the reporters had assumed that they would see an unkempt, gloomy, and hysterical woman. They hadn't expected to see such a stunning beauty. In an instant, the entire studio fell eerily silent. Lin Yan had been half covering her face with her cap ever since she had entered the room. She had been engrossed in her game, so the staff hadn't seen her clearly earlier. Now they could finally see her face. If Lin Yan hadn't revealed her identity, the reporters wouldn't have dared to recognize her. After some time, they finally snapped back to their senses and started to whisper among themselves. What the F***CK? This beauty is Lin Yan? She has changed so much. Did she go for plastic surgery? If you look closely, her features haven't changed much. It's just that. How should I put it? She gives off a completely different vibe. Actually, Lin Yan is really good looking. Do you guys still remember the cover photo of Lin Yan that went viral on the internet? Actually, when Lin Yan had first debuted, she had exploded in popularity because of a photograph. It was a magazine photo of Lin Yan sitting in a vintage sports car. She was propping her forehead up lazily as she gazed at the sky outside the window. Her eyes seemed to be burning with passion. It was this photo that shocked the netizens. Even the blank and sad look on the girl's face was moving. That was how Lin Yan had gotten her first batch of fans. Just one photo could attract countless fans. Such a unique condition was something that many people in the entertainment industry yearned for but could not get. It was a pity that Lin Yan's condition deteriorated as time went by. Perhaps it was because she had lost too much weight, but her body had become thinner and thinner. Her beautiful face had become increasingly gloomy, which made people dislike her more and more. She had lost her natural liveliness, let alone her makeup and clothes. However, unexpectedly, after a few days, the girl who appeared in front of the public once again seemed to have been reborn and reborn. It was clearly the same face, but it was breathtakingly beautiful. Chapter 109. Jiang Sifei clenched her teeth in anger. That be *TCH Lin Yan. How dare a lowly actress steal her limelight? Zhu Manqian sneered coldly. No wonder Zhao Hongling brought her out. She must have spent money on plastic surgery. Hee hee, your ex-agent really wanted money so much that he went crazy. Zhang Sifei folded her arms. She had no choice. She had no one else to work for after I left. Their voices were loud, so Lin Yan's eyes pierced through the crowd and landed on Zhu Manqian and Zhang Sifei. The corners of her mouth curled up, but her eyes didn't reach her eyes. Zhao Hongling had no one else to work for her because she had spent most of her energy on Zhang Sifei. Lin Yan raised her voice and said, I heard Manager Zhu say that my manager, Miss Zhao Hongling, had given Zhang Sifei bad roles in order to earn money? Zhu Manqian scoffed when she noticed that Lin Yan had suddenly turned the tables on her. Why? Did I say something wrong? Miss Zhang Sifei, you didn't deny what your manager, Zhu Manqian, said, right? Lin Yan asked Zhang Sifei. Zhang Sifei's expression darkened. She didn't speak, which meant that she had tacitly agreed. She was too ordinary, so she had always been very concerned about her appearance. However, Zhao Hongling had made her take on unsophisticated roles and even made her look ugly. She had had enough of it. Every time she saw those comments on the internet that said she was ugly, she hated them to the core. Lin Yan's beautiful face, even without makeup, was like a thorn stabbing at her. Lin Yan sneered coldly at Zhang Sifei's tacit agreement. She scanned the reporters and said, All right then. In that case, let me take a look at Miss Zhang Sifei's works over the years. He wasn't talented and didn't have any other strong points, but his memory was pretty good. If I'm not wrong, Miss Zhang Sifei has taken on 5 roles in the past 3 years. Her first film, which was the role of the country girl that Manager Zhu had disdained, was Zhang Sifei's first film. It was also the film that made her famous. Her first film had won her the Golden Palm Award for Best Supporting Actress. The second film, which was the delinquent girl that Manager Zhu disdained, had missed the award ceremony, but it was well received on the internet and was praised by many famous people. His third film was a collaboration with Zhang Jiari, the movie queen. It was nominated for the Best Chinese Film at the Lorraine Film Festival. In the fourth drama, she took on the leading role alone and was nominated for the Golden Palm Award for Best Actress. A month ago, Miss Zhang Sifei won the Golden Palm Award for Best Actress and jumped into the A-list. Lin Yan's voice was loud and clear as she finished her sentence in one breath. Then, she glared at Zhu Manqian and Zhang Sifei coldly. Everyone knows that most of these films are artistic films. Their combined earnings might not even be comparable to a commercial film or a melodramatic drama. Manager Zhu, Miss Zhang Sifei, both of you claim that Zhao Hongling is only interested in making money and that she has judged all of Zhang Sifei's films to be lousy. Do you think that the judges are blind or that the entire audience is blind? Or do you think that films that don't make money are lousy films? The entire hall fell silent when Lin Yan finished her sentence. Chapter 110. Although Lin Yan had a bad reputation and almost no one believed her, what she had just said was logical and logical. There was nothing wrong with it. Zhang Sifei's fame and reputation were inextricably linked to the role she had taken on. Besides, everyone in the industry had acknowledged Zhao Hongling's talent. However, the moment Zhang Sifei had jumped ship, she had started to deny everything that her ex-manager had done for her. She had even denied her past. She had even complained that the roles she had played weren't big enough. Wasn't this too much? Zhang Sifei was speechless when she heard Lin Yan's words. Her face turned pale. Zhu Manqian, who had gotten carried away earlier, hadn't thought before she spoke. She knew that something was amiss when she heard Lin Yan's words. All the roles Zhao Hongling had taken on for Zhang Sifei had been failed literary films. Some of them had even lost money. Given the current situation, what else could they be other than lousy films? Zhu Manqian had never imagined that Lin Yan would use the awards as an excuse. She had even mentioned the judges and the fans. Lin Yan's words were so convincing that the reporter started to change sides. Zhang Yiming, who was standing aside, nodded in approval. Even a reporter who had accepted Zhu Manqian's red packet couldn't help but chime in. Actually, Zhao Hongling's plan for Zhang Sifei was perfect. With her qualifications, most artists would only be able to play minor roles for the rest of their lives. However, she managed to make it in just 3 years. She's already very lucky. Yeah, she met a reliable manager. It's a pity that she didn't appreciate it. Now that she is famous and has found a powerful backer, she thinks that those films are lousy. She even brought her new manager to mock her. Isn't she an ingrate? Duo, who had been afraid that Lin Yan would mess things up, had never imagined that Lin Yan would say something like that. The young lass stood rooted to the ground as she gazed at Lin Yan with a complicated expression.
Zhao Hongling shut her eyes slowly and sighed heavily.
At first, she thought that she could accept it, understand it, and be at ease with it. Her artists could stay or leave at will, and she would never force them to stay. However, when she heard Lin Yan's words and how much effort she had put into fight for Jiang Xifei, she couldn't help feeling a pang in her heart. Zhu Manqian, who was flustered and exasperated, yelled, "Lin Yan! It was just a slip of the tongue. What I meant was that Xifei deserves a better platform and resources." So all her previous films were trash? Lin Yan wouldn't listen to her, changing the topic. Zhu Manqian was exasperated as a sinister glint flitted across her eyes. She hissed coldly, "Lin Yan, why are you pretending to be a fighter for justice? You're the most shameless person in this industry because you want to make money and become famous. What kind of manager will have the same kind of artist? What kind of artist is Zhao Hongling's manager?"
Lin Yan raised an eyebrow.
She had guessed that Zhu Manqian would do this. She replied calmly, "Manager Zhu, you're good at changing the topic. Unfortunately, everyone knows that I'm unruly and unruly. I've always been at odds with Zhao Hongling. However, Sister Ling has always respected the contract and has never kicked me out." Chapter 111. Who would say that about themselves? The reporters couldn't help but laugh when they heard Lin Yan. It was true that Lin Yan and Zhao Hongling had been at loggerheads many times. Lin Yan's assistant, Lu Xiaoying, had even complained tearfully that Zhao Hongling had abused and beaten Lin Yan. In the end, it had been proven to be slanderous and she had almost fallen out with her management company. In the end, Zhao Hongling had stood up for Lin Yan. Besides, Lin Yan's words were too much. What did she mean by Zhao Hongling's emphasis on the contract? Wasn't she mocking Jiang Xifei for going back on her word and breaking the contract? She had signed a 5-year contract, but it had only been 3 years. Zhao Hongling had suffered a double loss and wasted 3 years of hard work. The reporters glared at Jiang Xifei and Zhu Manqian with even more disdain. Everyone had heard about House of Millions Media's aggressive attempts to poach talent. They hadn't thought much of it before, but now that they thought about it, they felt disgusted. Before Zhu Manqian could speak, Lin Yan grinned and added, "Besides, according to your logic, the artist is shameless, so the manager is shameless too. If your logic is true, then Zhao Hongling is shameless. In that case, wouldn't I have the same logic? Zhao Hongling is shameless, so her artist must be shameless too. So Jiang Xifei is shameless too?" You. Zhu Manqian was rendered speechless by Lin Yan's sophistry. She almost vomited blood in anger. The reporters listened intently and eagerly. They wanted to grab a stool and some melon seeds. Why hadn't they known that Lin Yan was so eloquent? Her logical thinking was amazing. She was simply an expert at quarreling. Lin Yan smiled faintly and hid her achievements. Quarrel with her? She had never lost a debate competition since she was a child. She had represented her school in the national debate competition and lived up to expectations. She had made her opponent cry. Actually, she hadn't wanted to quarrel, but there was a prize for winning a debate competition. Besides, she didn't need to use her energy. All she had to do was move her mouth. Therefore, out of all the competitions, her favorite was the debate competition. Back then, when she went abroad and joined a team, she was eager for quick success. She competed crazily to earn money, but she made several major mistakes and almost lost her life. In order for her to settle down, her master had arranged all kinds of special training for her, including physical training, wilderness survival, and training such as Go and calligraphy, which forced her to cultivate her mind and cultivate patience. Moreover, he had also urged her to be admitted into the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in M Nation to major in aerodynamics. Back in school, she was also a competition maniac. As long as there was a prize, she would go to any competition. At that time, the one she won the most was the debate competition. She had studied aerodynamics because she wanted to research the principles behind racing cars. This major was too obscure, and there were people in school who knew about her identity as a racer. If she were to reveal it, she was afraid that her identity would be exposed. Hence, She hadn't told Lin Shuya about it.
She hadn't said a single word to Lin Shuya, not even when she was in danger during the competition or during the special training.
She had almost lost her life so many times. Chapter 112. Jiang Sifei was no longer behaving like a goddess. She looked flustered as she blamed Zhu Manqian. How could she say something like that? If it was Zhao Hongling, she would never have made such a low-level mistake. She would not have given herself a chance to be blackmailed, and she would also be implicated. However, Jiang Sifei didn't dare to flare up at Zhu Manqian.
She could only say anxiously, "Sister Qian, think of something.
We can't let this news get out. If this news got out, they would offend the most influential people in the entertainment industry." Lin Yan was trying to kill her. Zhu Manqian, who had never imagined that her words would cause such trouble, panicked.
Her face flushed red as she bellowed, "Lin Yan,
don't slander me.
I've already said that it was a slip of the tongue."
There were so many reporters today, and this matter was getting out of hand. They couldn't suppress it even if they wanted to.
Duo sneered coldly and said, "Manager Zhu, it's useless to tell Sister Yan that it was a slip of the tongue.
Let's see if the judges and fans will believe us." Zhu Manqian gritted her teeth. "You are clearly trying to sow discord. Even if you want to sow discord, you have to give us something to pick from. You said it yourself. We didn't hold a knife to your neck and force you to say it." Sister Yan asked Jiang Sifei repeatedly just now, and Jiang Sifei admitted it. While the two of them were arguing, they heard an excited scream from the entrance. The woman was surrounded by her agent and several bodyguards. She was wearing a Dior's latest fairy dress and walked in elegantly. The woman's arrival caused a commotion among the crowd.
Oh my God, Shuya. It's Lin Shuya. Why is Lin Shuya here?"
She didn't participate in this movie, did she? Han Yishuan did participate, but it was just a cameo. She didn't even have to take a photo. Shuya is so beautiful and elegant. What kind of fairy is she? Shuya, look over here. I'm your fan. No one had expected that Lin Shuya, the hottest actress in the entertainment industry, would show up for an ordinary photo shoot. The reporters were so excited that they almost went crazy. All of them were screaming her name as they dashed toward her. The girl's eyebrows were like black ink, and her eyes were like limpid autumn waters, stirring people's hearts. Especially the innocence on her face, which made her as beautiful as an angel. With just a glance, one would feel a strong desire to protect him. When Lin Shuya had first debuted, she had attracted a large number of fans with her angelic looks. Lin Yan raised an eyebrow at Lin Shuya's sudden appearance. Suddenly, someone pressed her shoulder gently.
Lin Yan replied, "Sister Ling."
Zhao Hongling wanted to comfort her, but she didn't know what to say. Lin Yan chuckled nonchalantly. "Sister Ling, don't worry. I won't cause a scene." She would lose control and cause a ruckus, but that was because she would still feel heartache, unwillingness, and hope. But now she wouldn't. As soon as Lin Shuya appeared, she became the center of attention. Producer Feng Anhua and director Zhang Yiming also personally went to welcome them. Chapter 113. Lin Shuya greeted them politely. "Hello, Producer Feng, Director Zhang. I hope I didn't disturb you. I'm here to visit you." Visit? Who was she visiting? Everyone had a suspicious look on their faces. Feng Anhua chimed in suspiciously. "Visit? But Han Yishuan doesn't have to come today." Lin Shuya smiled sweetly as she glanced at Feng Anhua. Then she turned to the reporters and explained patiently, "I have officially taken over my father's subsidiary, House of Millions Media. Jiang Sifei is the artist that we are currently promoting. Meeting One's Match is Sifei's first film, so I hope that everyone can support her." Everyone was enlightened. So that was what had happened. She had come because of Jiang Sifei. Although Jiang Sifei's behavior was despicable, House of Millions Media, which had the backing of Triumph Entertainment, was much better than a small company like Star Entertainment. It was no wonder that Jiang Sifei would rather bear the brunt of the criticism and leave. A reporter seized the opportunity to ask, "Miss Lin Shuya, there was a conflict just now. Your manager slandered the Golden Crown Award. Do you have anything to say?" Lin Shuya didn't panic in the slightest. Instead, she scanned the crowd calmly and said, I've heard about what happened from my assistant. First of all, House of Millions Media's mission is to recruit talented people with potential and acting skills. Personally, I have great respect for talented artists. Hence, we sincerely invited Miss Jiang Sifei and fought hard to get the best resources for her. Lin Shuya's words were ingenious. First, she had cleared House of Millions Media's name. She had obviously poached someone else's talent, but she had used the excuse of cherishing her talent.
Lin Shuya added, I'm very sorry.
My manager was careless and caused unnecessary misunderstandings. Miss Zhao Hongling has been hurt. Lin Shuya walked up to Zhao Hongling and said sincerely, I apologize on her behalf. I hope that you can forgive her. Zhao Hongling shook her head. Miss Zhao Hongling, please forgive me.
Duo hadn't expected that Lin Shuya would let the matter slide with just a few words.
She was infuriated. You tried to poach someone from my side, but you still want to rub salt into my wound and mock me? Do you really think an apology is enough? Lin Yan watched calmly without any expression on her face.
If it had been someone else doing this, perhaps it would not have been so easy to get over it with just a few words.
However, Lin Shuya's popularity and image in the entertainment industry were too good. As soon as she appeared, half of the reporters immediately switched sides. Furthermore, Lin Shuya had lowered herself in front of everyone. Zhao Hongling had no choice but to accept her apology. However, once Zhao Hongling accepted it, the problem would be reduced to a personal grudge. Lin Yan watched Lin Shuya quietly, as though this was the first time she had met this person. Innocent and naive, ignorant of worldly affairs? Lin Shuya's words made the reporters nod in agreement. Their eyes were filled with admiration and approval, and the anger they had felt earlier had dissipated. Lin Shuya is young, but she's humble and courteous. Chapter 114. Zhao Hongling, who understood the situation, replied in a neither servile nor overbearing manner, Miss Lin, you're being too polite. Jiang Sifei regained her composure the moment she saw Lin Shuya. She regained her haughty expression. Zhao Hongling was merely a manager at a small company. Without her, she wouldn't even be able to retain her position as the director. Lin Yan, on the other hand, was a nobody. They actually wanted to fight with her. As long as Lin Shuya said the word, she could solve any problem. Zhu Manqian, who had been flustered earlier, straightened her back and followed Lin Shuya. She apologized perfunctorily, but there wasn't the slightest hint of guilt in her voice. Director Zhao, I'm really sorry. Actually, I have already explained that it was a slip of the tongue.
Who knew that Lin Yan would harp on my slip of the tongue? When the reporters heard Zhu Manqian, they instinctively turned to look at Lin Yan.
Suddenly, they were reminded of something. Lin Yan. Lin Shuya and Lin Yan. How could they have forgotten about this huge piece of gossip?
A reporter with quick reflexes seized the opportunity to press on.
Shuya, Lin Yan is here today. She has repeatedly spread rumors about you and Han Yishuan. Do you have anything to say about that?
Miss Lin Shuya.
What do you think about Lin Yan's accusation that you're a third party?
Yes, Shuya.
Lin Yan is shameless enough to spread rumors. Aren't you going to pursue legal action against her? Everyone's curiosity was piqued. All eyes were on the grudge between Lin Shuya and Lin Yan. Indeed, as long as Lin Yan was around, there would be gossip. There was so much gossip today. Who would have thought that Lin Shuya would suddenly appear? Enemies were bound to meet on a narrow road. There was going to be a good show to watch. Lin Shuya was dressed extravagantly and elegantly, as though she was the focus of the entire world. Her eyes swept past the crowd and landed on Lin Yan. Then, she flashed a faint, mocking smile. That haughty mocking smile disappeared as soon as it met Lin Yan's eyes. Soon, she regained her elegant and dignified expression. Lin Shuya looked like she wanted to say something, but she hesitated. She had a complicated expression on her face. After some time, she shook her head and said, No matter what, she's still my sister. Sister. As soon as Lin Shuya finished her sentence, the crowd burst into an uproar. Everyone was stunned. Miss Lin Shuya, did you just call Lin Yan sister? Miss Lin Shuya, what do you mean by that? What is your relationship with Lin Yan? Lin Shuya turned around and studied the shocked faces of the reporters. Finally, she nodded and said, Actually, Lin Yan is my biological sister. Ever since I was young, something happened to my family. My sister and I only had each other to rely on. My sister has an extreme personality, but I have always given her whatever she wants without any hesitation. However, some principles do not allow me to continue giving in. Oh my God! What kind of earth-shattering joke was this? Lin Shuya and Lin Yan were sisters. Two sisters fighting over a man. Lin Shuya held back her tears and said, "My sister will be playing the supporting role in this movie. I hope that everyone will support her. I believe that my sister isn't a bad person. Thank you, everyone." God, what kind of angel is this? Chapter 115. They had been wondering how Lin Yan had managed to land a role in such a huge production with her trashy acting skills. Lin Shuya had helped her. Lin Yan was the real ingrate. One of them was an actress with no qualifications and no acting skills. She had acted in lousy movies and resorted to unscrupulous means to become famous. She had even created rumors to slander others. The other was a top student from the film academy. She was talented, kind, and passionate about charity. She was known as the nation's angel. Everyone believed Lin Shuya's words without a doubt. The girl's soft and sad expression aroused everyone's anger, stirring up the crowd in an instant. Lin Yan had been silent the entire time as she watched Lin Shuya's performance. The corners of Lin Shuya's mouth curled into a cold mocking smile as she stared at Lin Yan. Then she inched closer to Lin Yan and said in a heartbroken voice, "Sister, I know that you still hate me. When I was young I gave you my toys. When I grew up, I gave you my cosmetics. I was willing to give you all of them. I was even willing to work during the summer to support my sister. But love is not a one-sided thing. Even if I want to give in, I can't give in this time." When the reporters heard Lin Shuya's words, it was easy to imagine their reactions. Lin Shuya mentioned her sister in an interview. Who would have thought that Lin Yan would be Shuya's incompetent sister? All of a sudden, countless reprimanding gazes darted at Lin Yan. "Lin Yan, you're too shameless. How could you covet your own sister's man? Yeah. You hurt Xueqi just because she's kind and kind. If you can't get her, you slander her. Oh my God. How could there be such a vicious sister in this world? She has tarnished the entertainment industry. She even claimed on Weibo that she was the founder of Angel Shelter. Not only did she snatch Xueqi's boyfriend, but she also snatched Xueqi's charity. Why does she like to snatch other people's things?" Amidst the angry criticism, Lin Shuya suddenly whispered into her ear. She lowered her voice and whispered in Lin Yan's ear. "Lin Yan, I've always been more outstanding than you since we were young. I've always done better than you. However, your life has always been so good. You merely relied on luck to surpass me in the past. Now, I'm going to show you exactly what you're made of. Right now, in my eyes, you're even smaller than an ant. You don't even have the qualifications to kneel down and wipe my shoes for me. In this lifetime, you're only fit to look up to me. Do you understand?" The corners of Lin Yan's mouth curled upwards when she heard Lin Shuya. She didn't expect that after so many years of sisterly love, the sister she had risked her life to protect would actually harbor such thoughts from the beginning. This time, she wasn't hysterical, nor was she bristling with anger. On the contrary, there was a sense of relief in her heart as if the dust had settled. Finally, the last bit of reluctance in his heart completely disappeared. Lin Shuya chuckled softly. "Sister, stop struggling. In this world, no one knows you better than I do. Your flaws, everything about you, are all within my grasp. You are just a good-for-nothing trash." Lin Yan raised her eyes and scanned Lin Shuya's face lazily. Her gaze was suffocating and intimidating. "Lin Shuya, do you really think that you know me that well? When I see you as my kin, I naturally have a body full of flaws." Chapter 116. Lin Shuya's eyes roamed over Lin Yan, looking cold and arrogant. It was as though she was sizing up the weak ant in front of her. In the past, Lin Yan had merely been lucky. She had been able to look down on her and even snatch the man she liked away. However, her luck had run out now. Whether it was the Lin family, Brother Yixuan, or everything that belonged to her, she would take it back. As for Lin Yan, she was a good-for-nothing. She wasn't even fit to carry her shoes. "Sister, if you need anything, you can tell me."
Lin Shuya stood before the reporters and told Lin Yan, "No matter what, you're still my sister. No matter what you did in the past, blood is thicker than water. You can't sever that bond." After Lin Shuya finished speaking, the reporter started to speak up for her.
"Xueqi, you're too kind.
She doesn't deserve to be your sister. I've seen too many people like her throughout my years in the media industry. She doesn't have a bottom line at all." A bespectacled reporter hissed at Lin Yan. Everyone present agreed with the reporter's words. A female reporter in a red dress glanced at Lin Yan in disgust and chimed in, "After all, some people don't deserve to be called humans. As long as they can achieve their goals, they will resort to any means necessary. They will make use of anyone around them.
What's the big deal about blood relations?"
"Everyone, please don't say that." Sister must have been muddle-headed.
Lin Shuya frowned slightly.
She sounded sad and forbearing at the same time.
"Miss Xueqi, reporter Sun is right. You're too kind.
Lin Yan is shamelessly taking advantage of your kindness. If you don't know how to protect yourself, you will suffer in the future." The female reporter in the red dress spoke solemnly. Zhao Hongling looked at the group of reporters silently.
She frowned slightly. At this time, she wisely chose to remain silent.
Zhao Hongling understood Lin Yan well. She had already sensed that there was something wrong with Lin Shuya. However, due to their relationship, Zhao Hongling hadn't said anything. Now, it seemed like there was something wrong with Lin Shuya. In fact, there was a huge problem. However, the situation was different now. Lin Shuya had the final say, so everyone chose to believe her. If she tried to explain to Lin Yan now, she might end up with the opposite effect. "Lin Yan, you're really shameless. You went abroad to have fun, yet you made Shuya work in the heat for the summer.
Are you even human?
Shuya is so unlucky to have a sister like you." The reporter glared at Lin Yan, her eyes filled with disgust and disdain. Lin Yan adjusted her cap and grinned at the reporter.
"What happened? Did you leave your brain behind when you left home? What did you say?"
Hearing this, the bespectacled reporter scolded, "You've flown into a rage out of humiliation and are starting to make personal attacks." The corners of Lin Yan's mouth curled up, but she didn't flare up. Instead, she smiled mildly and replied, "I'm just reminding you out of goodwill. As a reporter, you should believe whatever others say. You didn't investigate or collect any evidence.
Do you think you're out of your mind?"
Chapter 117. Then, Lin Yan added, "Oh yeah, I just recalled that a few months ago, a female teacher was wrongly accused. She jumped off a building to prove her innocence. That was all because some reporters believed in other people's words and wrote nonsense online, right?" The reporter's expression changed when she heard Lin Yan. When Duo heard this, he hurriedly said, "Ah, I know about this news as well. It caused quite a commotion at the time. A few months ago, a female teacher was accused by a parent of abusing and beating her child for a long period of time. In the end, some unscrupulous reporters attacked the teacher online for the sake of generating more news without any evidence. As a result, the matter escalated. Many netizens read the unscrupulous reporter's article, which resulted in the teacher's Weibo account being destroyed. They dug up all the information about the teacher and even went to the school." Lin Yan replied slowly, "This article hurt the teacher so much that she wanted to prove her innocence. In a fit of rage, she jumped off the building. About 2 months ago, the truth was revealed. The teacher had never hit the child." Lin Yan grinned at the female reporter in the red dress and glanced at her badge. "If I remember correctly, you were the one who wrote that article.
Reporter Li Yun?
You didn't forget to bring your brain with you. You don't have a brain at all.
I'm really curious. Are you going to find the next victim?"
Duo glanced at Lin Yan in surprise. Most people would only remember the content of the article. Who would have thought that Lin Yan would remember the person who had published the article?
"You!"
The reporter glared at Lin Yan, her body trembling with rage. She had almost lost her job because of this incident. Now that the matter had passed, she had never expected that Lin Yan would mention it again.
"Me? What about me?
Are you going to fly into a rage because I told you the truth? Although you weren't the murderer, you did indirectly kill her." Lin Yan chuckled softly.
"Lin Yan, don't try to change the topic. This has nothing to do with you.
The bespectacled reporter hissed coldly. A second later, Lin Yan's eyes landed on him. She sized him up and nodded. Reporter from Xingyun Entertainment Weekly. You seem to agree with what she did. Nonsense, I didn't, the bespectacled reporter said angrily. That's strange. Even though you don't agree with her, both of you have the same way of doing things. You said that Lin Shuya braved the heat to work during the summer so that I could have fun abroad. Did you see that? Lin Yan grinned. His words rendered the bespectacled reporter speechless. Or do you have enough evidence? For example, do you have records of Lin Shuya transferring money to me? If you do, show it to me. What are you waiting for? Lin Yan pressed on. Lin Yan, Lin Shuya is your biological sister. How could she spout nonsense? The bespectacled reporter snorted coldly. I think you're clearly avoiding the important and dwelling on the trivial. You're not willing to admit it. Lin Yan grinned. According to your logic, I'm Lin Shuya's biological sister. Therefore, the younger sister wouldn't spout nonsense. So the older sister would be the one spouting nonsense? Chapter 118. At this time, a reporter passed a microphone to Jiang Yiming. Director Jiang, what do you think of Lin Yan's acting? Lin Yan said that she got the role because of her acting skills. Is that true? Director Jiang, you should be aware of Shuya's relationship with Lin Yan. That's why you gave the role to Lin Yan on account of Xueqi. Jiang Yiming's face darkened in the face of the reporter's questions. He wanted to clarify for Lin Yan, but Summit Entertainment was involved in Zhou Feng's case, so he couldn't let the reporters know about it. In the end, Jiang Yiming could only remain silent and not say a word. Lin Shuya's lips curled into a smile, as though she had expected this. She knew Lin Yan too well. Her acting skills were terrible. She must have been lucky. After Zhou Feng had been reported, Jiang Yiming had been afraid that she would spread rumors. Hence, he had given the role to her. The reporters took Jiang Yiming's silence as a tacit agreement. Hence they got excited. Even Director Jiang has admitted it. How could she lie like that? She is indeed shameless. Lin Yan, what else do you have to say? Lin Yan, who knew why Jiang Yiming couldn't speak, shrugged. There's nothing much to say. My acting skills will speak for itself. When the movie is released, everyone will know how good I am. I also hope that when the time comes, all of you who slandered me for no reason will apologize to me one by one. The reporters stared at Lin Yan as though she was a lunatic. Apologize to her? She must be crazy. I think she's a dead pig who doesn't fear boiling water. She won't repent until she sees her coffin. Apologize? When I see her, I'm afraid that she will weep and apologize to all the fans who caused a commotion. Reporter Sun, who was amused, replied sarcastically, Sure. If you can prove your acting skills, I will kneel down and apologize to you. Ha 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 ha. Me too. Me too. Reporter Sun's words elicited another round of laughter from the crowd. Lin Yan scanned the cameras and nodded in satisfaction. With so many people watching, no one would be able to escape. At the end of the interview, the reporters left one after another, and the studio finally quieted down. Lin Shuya chatted with Zhang Sifei for a while before leaving. Before he left, he gazed at Lin Yan arrogantly. Goodbye, sister. The moment Lin Shuya left, Zhang Sifei glanced at Zhao Hongling deliberately and told Zhu Manqian, I thought that Zhao Hongling was a smart person. I didn't expect her to be so stupid as to rely on this piece of trash to make a comeback. Hee, I've said it before. Zhao Hongling is completely relying on you to suck your blood. You might not know this, but Zhao Hongling made a bet with the other managers. She promised that she would help Lin Yan achieve top sales within 3 months. Otherwise, she would resign from her position. Are you serious? She must be crazy. The two of them continued chatting until a staff member came over to invite Zhang Sifei in to change. Zhang Sifei then left in her high heels, swaying her hips arrogantly. Duo looked as though she was about to cry. Sister Yan, you said that in front of so many reporters. How are you going to clean up this mess? She had behaved this way at the company, and now she was doing it again in front of the reporters. Lin Yan blinked innocently. How am I going to clean up this mess? Why are you asking me?
That's what the reporters should be thinking about. Duo was speechless. Chapter 119. Soon, all the staff members crowded around Jiang Xifei. Soon, only Lin Yan, Zhao Hongling, and Duo were left in the waiting room. No one paid them any attention. Everyone crowded around Jiang Xifei. Jiang Xifei looked as though she was filming a fashion blockbuster as she changed into different outfits. The crew members were all praising her as they stood by her side. In the blink of an eye, it was noon. Lin Yan had been waiting for almost 3 hours. Zhao Hongling glanced at the time on her phone with a frown. She was afraid that she wouldn't be able to take the photo today. Lin Yan and Jiang Xifei's photo shoot was scheduled for the morning. There were other artists to take the photo in the afternoon. If Jiang Xifei took too long, Lin Yan wouldn't be able to take the rest of the photos. Duo watched Lin Yan warily, worried that she would get impatient and cause a ruckus. In the end, she realized that she was completely engrossed in the game. Duo was speechless. Sister Ling, thank goodness you asked her to play more games. Actually, her manager and artist didn't know that Lin Yan was obsessed with making money. She had given it some thought. This game was quite popular, so she might as well go back to her old profession. She could use her free time to earn some pocket money. Playing games and making money at the same time. Wouldn't that be great? Therefore, while she was leveling her account, she had secretly posted a substitute leveling post on the game forum. Then, she was waiting for a potential customer to come knocking. Sister Ling, I'll go and ask when it's our turn. Okay. Duo left to look for the staff. The coordinator was beaming as she spoke to Zhu Manqian. Sister Qian, Xifei has a great figure. She looks great in everything. She looks so classy. Hi, may I know when Lin Yan can start? Asked Duo. The coordinator turned around impatiently when she was interrupted. Why are you in such a hurry? The female lead hasn't even started yet. Why is she rushing us? Duo sounded anxious. No matter how much she hated Lin Yan, she had to fight for her artist. But she has already spent hours trying on her clothes and makeup. Sister Yan doesn't have much time left. High-level photographers like her had a full schedule, so they wouldn't have a chance to reshoot. Jiang Xifei was clearly trying to stop Lin Yan from doing her photo shoot. If she couldn't take the photos, she wouldn't be part of the publicity campaign. Jiang Xifei, who was leisurely choosing her clothes, glanced at Duo with a faint smile. Duo, are you Lin Yan's assistant now? So what if I am? Plenty snapped. In the past, she had been in charge of Jiang Xifei. She had even been at Jiang Xifei's beck and call. Who knew that Jiang Xifei would be so heartless? Jiang Xifei, who was wearing a gorgeous gown, spoke in a condescending tone. Since we are so familiar with each other, I'm not used to having a new assistant. I think you are quite good at taking care of people. Why don't you come over and work for me? I will pay you double your salary. In other words, if you serve me well, I'll give you money to continue serving me. Duo nearly exploded in anger when she heard that. It was one thing for him to leave, but he actually wanted to poach her as well. Chapter 120. She had come from a small city to work. Before she had met Sister Ling, she had been doing odd jobs at the film studio. She had to carry things, carry props, and serve drinks. She had to do the work of several people. Sister Ling had noticed that she was diligent and had recruited her. She had become an assistant that everyone envied. Although she didn't know much, there was no way she would betray her benefactor at a time like this. Duo sneered coldly. There's no need. You should save that money for plastic surgery. Jiang Xifei's face darkened instantly. You! Zhu Manqian hurried forward to console her. Xifei, forget it. This lass doesn't know what's good for her. She will suffer in the future if she follows an artist like Lin Yan. Duo's face was dark and gloomy when she returned. Her eyes were red and swollen, as though she had been bullied. What's wrong? Zhao Hongling asked hastily. Sister Ling, I'm fine. Those people are too much. Jiang Xifei is clearly making things difficult for me. Zhao Hongling glanced at Duo with a complicated expression. After a moment of silence she said, Initially, I hired you because Xifei needed an assistant. All this time, you've been with Xifei. Actually, Assistants usually follow their artists. After all, they're more familiar with each other. If you... Duo, who understood what Zhao Hongling was implying, replied agitatedly. Sister Ling, who do you think I am? I don't care who the artist is. I only acknowledge you. I will follow whoever you ask me to. I would rather follow a hypocrite like Lin Yan than an ingrate like Jiang Xifei. Lin Yan, who had been playing her game for no reason at all, was speechless. In the end, the photo shoot didn't take place. The planner had merely said, "We will see how it goes." It was obviously a perfunctory excuse. We have been waiting for so long. How can we stop the photo shoot just because she says so? Sister Ling, why don't I speak to the director? Duo fumed. Zhao Hongling shook her head. She wouldn't dare do this without the permission of the higher-ups. In other words, the higher-ups had given their tacit approval. Between Lin Yan and Jiang Xifei, it was obvious who the production team would side with. They would only side with benefits. In the past, he had indulged Lin Yan because she could create hype. Now, he was indulging Jiang Xifei because of her backer. Let's go, Zhao Hongling said to Lin Yan. She wanted to console Lin Yan, but Lin Yan raised her head in confusion. Ha! Did he leave? So fast. Wait for me to finish this round. I'll definitely have a pentakill this time. Zhao Hongling. She and Plenty were getting anxious, but Tang Weilin didn't seem worried at all. She was focused on her game. It was as if he already knew that he wouldn't be able to film it. The three of them went downstairs and walked to the underground parking lot. Zhao Hongling called the driver. After listening to the driver's words, Zhao Hongling's face darkened. There are a lot of fans waiting outside and in the parking lot, Zhao Hongling said. Duo scrolled through the news and Weibo. Indeed, the video has been uploaded by the media. The location of the filming location has also been leaked. A lot of fans are rushing over. Lin Yan pondered for a moment before she said, Sister Ling, the fans don't know you and Duo. Why don't we split up? You guys go first. I'll think of something. Zhao Hongling rejected her suggestion immediately. No way. Lin Yan was still talking when a few people appeared at the end of the corridor. They were her assistant and bodyguard. The man in the middle was tall and slender. He was wearing a retro gray suit, and his perfect features looked as though they had been sculpted by God. The man's eyes were gentle, and the corners of his mouth were curved in a gentle smile. He looked like a spring breeze. Chapter 121. She had just freeloaded off Lin Yan's popularity, yet she had bumped into her in person. This was too awkward. Duo felt like crying. Lin Yan's enemies were everywhere. She could bump into them just by walking a few steps. Moreover, they had collided with each other. Mr. Pei. Zhao Hongling remained composed as she nodded politely to greet him. Anyone would be unhappy about what Lin Yan had done. However, given Pei Nanchu's status, he wouldn't hold it against Lin Yan over such a trivial matter. The last time she had spoken to him, he had been rather friendly. She led Duo and Lin Yan to a corner. As Pei Nanchu approached them, Duo tugged at Lin Yan's arm and hid in a corner. However, as they lowered their gazes, Pei Nanchu's long legs suddenly froze. Then he turned around and stood still in front of them. Then, Toto heard a seductive voice in his ears. Miss Lin. It was Pei Nanchu's voice. Pei Nanchu had actually taken the initiative to talk to Lin Yan. Duo instinctively raised her head in shock. Although this wasn't the first time Lin Yan had interacted with Pei Nanchu, she had been his fan for many years. Thus, she couldn't help but feel nervous and excited when she saw him. She was taken aback when Pei Nanchu took the initiative to talk to her. She replied nervously, Hi. Senior. Pei Nanchu chuckled helplessly. Miss Lin, if it's possible, please change the way you address me. I'm afraid I don't deserve to be called a senior. That wasn't right. Lin Yan muttered, Just call me Nanchu. Pei Nanchu grinned. Lin Yan shook her head vigorously. This isn't appropriate. She didn't deserve to be called Nanchu. What would happen if someone overheard this? Pei Nanchu didn't force her. He took a shopping bag from his assistant and handed it to Lin Yan. Miss Lin, there are fans outside. It's hard for you to leave. Change into this and I'll take you out. Lin Yan was speechless.
Duo was stunned by their conversation. To be precise, she was stunned by Pei Nanshu's attitude toward Lin Yan. She had thought that Mr. Pei was here to punish her, but it seemed like that wasn't the case at all. Not only had he asked Lin Yan to call him by his name, but he had also come all the way here to help her. He had even prepared clothes for her. Could it be? Could it be that Mr. Pei was also? This was too unbelievable. As a loyal fan of Pei Qian, Duo felt as though the world was falling apart. Duo couldn't help but whisper to Lin Yan. Sister Yan, why is Mr. Pei treating you so well? He's even helping you. What's your relationship with him? Lin Yan felt rather flattered. Anyway, it's not what you're thinking. It's already like this. If it's not that kind of relationship, what else could it be? Although she didn't want to think about it that way, Pei Nanshu's attitude made it hard for her to not think about it. Lin Yan replied helplessly, What are you thinking? Do you think that Pei Nanshu would be so blind as to fall for me? Duo shook her head and replied resolutely. No. Lin Yan replied, Isn't that obvious? Pei Nanshu wasn't blind. Chapter 122. Duo and Zhao Hongling couldn't refute Lin Yan's words. After all, there was no way that Pei Nanshu would like Lin Yan. In terms of status in the entertainment industry, Pei Nanshu had reached the pinnacle of his acting career. He was undoubtedly one of the top celebrities in the entertainment industry, and he was one of the shareholders of Summit Entertainment. In terms of family background, he was the second young master of the Pei family, the most prestigious family in the capital city. His mother's family background was unfathomable, and his brother was a legendary figure in the business world. He was the CEO of JM Corporation, Pei Yuqing. Pei Yuqing was a legend in the business world, and the sensation he had created in the entertainment industry was unprecedented. Although Pei Yuqing wasn't part of the entertainment industry, he was as popular as any celebrity. There had been many husbands in the entertainment industry, but Pei Yuqing's status had never wavered. The first time Pei Yuqing's photo had been exposed was when the paparazzi had chased Pei Nanshu and accidentally captured him. Just the silhouette of a bespectacled man leaning against a silver sports car had made all the male celebrities in the entertainment industry think that he had been a cuckold overnight. Countless female fans and thousands of fangirls had joined the JM Corporation's official Weibo account to gain tens of millions of fans. Even the financial channel's views had skyrocketed. Pei Nanshu had often joked that they were fans of his because they wanted him to post photos of his brother. The rumor that Pei Yuqing was critically ill had caused quite a stir in the entertainment industry. Many female fans had cried and prayed for him. At the same time, they had kept the photo of Pei Yuqing in his hospital bed as though it was a priceless treasure. They had even licked his face countless times. One could imagine that even if Pei Nanshu, Shen Chaomu, Wei Shufeng, Tang Jiaya, and Han Yishuan were added together, they wouldn't have as many fans as Pei Yuqing. After all, he was the man who had made the entire entertainment industry a cuckold. How could a man like Pei Nanshu, who had a powerful family background and a high social status, fall in love with an insignificant artist like Lin Yan? Duo believed Lin Yan's words and her tone softened. Then why did Mr. Pei help you? Lin Yan looked conflicted. Pei Nanshu had helped her because of Pei Yuqing. But what could she say? She had said that Pei Nanshu's brother was her current boyfriend, and that was why Pei Nanshu was helping her? Lin Yan was well aware of Pei Yuqing's influence. She couldn't imagine what would happen to her if his fans found out what she had done to him. Hence, she would never let anyone know about her relationship with Pei Yuqing. But how were they going to disassociate themselves from Pei Nanshu? However, saying that they were friends was ambiguous and unconvincing. Furthermore, she didn't really want to lie to Sister Ling. It was too difficult. Oh my God, it was so hard for her. Hence, she had no choice but to rack her brains and search for the right words. If I had to describe our relationship, I would say that we are relatives? In terms of relationship and seniority, wasn't her boyfriend's younger brother her brother-in-law? Chapter 123. Duo was exasperated. She didn't believe her explanation. One of you has the Lin surname and the other has the Pei surname. How could you be related? Lin Yan replied matter-of-factly, Can't we be related just because we have different surnames? Of course you can. But I've never heard you mention this before. If that was the case, given Lin Yan's personality, she would have made a big fuss about it. Hence, there was a high chance that something was amiss. Duo glanced at Zhao Hongling suspiciously. It was obvious that Zhao Hongling didn't know about this either. However, she could tell that Lin Yan had something to hide, so she didn't probe further. Lin Yan replied casually, "Because we are distant relatives, it's normal that you don't know about it. Mr. Pei is a nice person, so he helped me." Actually, there was nothing wrong with that. She could break up with Pei Yuqing at any time, so she wouldn't have anything to do with Pei Nanshu then. Duo was shocked. "You have such a relationship with Mr. Pei? That's amazing." Even if they were distant relatives, it was still very shocking. Lin Yan pursed her lips. Is it amazing? What was so amazing about that? What was there to make a fuss about? She was Pei Nanshu's third brother, Pei Yutong. Pei Nanshu didn't rush Lin Yan as she whispered to Duo. Instead, he stood there patiently and waited. In the end, Duo and Zhao Hongling retreated to make it easier for him to talk to Lin Yan. "There's a bathroom at the end of the corridor. You can change there," said Pei Nanshu. Lin Yan was hesitant. She was fearful of Pei Nanshu's help. After all, her relationship with Pei Yuqing was complicated, and she couldn't control it at all. If it wasn't necessary, she didn't want to have anything to do with Pei Yuqing. After all, her life was more important. Besides, she was going to get into Pei Nanshu's car in broad daylight under the watchful eyes of his fans. Wasn't that a little too exciting? Lin Yan had no choice but to reject him. "Thank you for your help, Mr. Pei. However, I think it's too risky. If the fans catch us, we won't be able to explain ourselves. I don't mind, but I can't allow your reputation to be tarnished. How about this? I'll accept these clothes, and I'll think of a way to leave later." Lin Yan's explanation was flawless. She felt that Pei Nanshu wouldn't say anything since she had already said so much. Pei Nanshu glanced at her meaningfully and whispered softly, "But my brother is waiting for you in the car." Lin Yan was speechless. Big Boss was waiting for her in the car? How could she not go? You should have said so earlier. If he had told her earlier, she wouldn't have had to struggle so hard. Lin Yan was almost in tears when she said, "All right then. Please wait for a moment. I'll go and change now." Pei Nanshu chuckled. "Okay, there's no hurry. I'll wait for you." Pei Nanshu's eyes flickered with suspicion as he watched the girl run to the bathroom with the clothes in her arms. Why did he feel that this girl didn't treat his brother like a lover? Chapter 124. Lin Yan had changed into the same outfit as Pei Nanshu's assistant. "Director Zhao, don't worry. I will send Miss Lin back safely," replied Pei Nanshu. Zhao Hongling thanked him politely. "I'll leave it to you then." After Lin Yan left with Pei Nanshu, Duo couldn't help but mutter, "Sister Ling, do you believe what Lin Yan said? Is she really a distant relative of Mr. Pei? Lin Yan seems to have always liked Mr. Pei. I remember that even her WeChat profile picture and nickname are Mr. Pei's." Zhao Hongling shook her head. "I can't be sure. At least it's not a romantic relationship." Lin Yan was indeed infatuated with Pei Nanshu. However, judging from the way they had interacted earlier, there wasn't anything amiss between them. Duo mulled it over. Actually, Lin Yan's words make sense. Mr. Pei might just be doing her a favor. Pei Nanshu led Lin Yan and a bodyguard from the VIP entrance to the underground parking lot. As expected, there was a crowd of fans surrounding the parking lot. When the fans saw Pei Nanshu, they shrieked and screamed. Lin Yan, who was wearing a mask, tried to maintain her composure as she followed Pei Nanshu. Instinctively, Pei Nanshu wanted to open the car door for Lin Yan. However, Lin Yan was pretending to be Pei Nanshu's assistant, so how could she let him open the door for her? Lin Yan, who was filled with a strong will to survive, rushed forward and opened the door for Pei Nanshu. Then, she got into the car from the other side. The bodyguards got into the car behind them and followed them. "Brother, I got her," Pei Nanshu said after they got into the car. Pei Yuqing replied. "Yeah." Pei Yuqing was already seated in the back seat of the car. The man was holding a stack of documents in his hands and wearing a suit. The lighting in the car was dim, but just the side profile of his face was enough to make one's heart race. There was no blind spot on his face at all. Pei Yuqing looked as though he had just returned from a formal event. Unlike his usual casual attire, his suit and tie were neat and tidy, and he was wearing buccellati cufflinks that looked inconspicuous but were so expensive that they left one speechless. He wore a pair of gold-rimmed glasses, and his white shirt was buttoned up to the first button on his collar. This was the first time Lin Yan had seen him in a suit. Her heart almost stopped when she saw him. It was no wonder that a blurry photo could make those women go crazy. At this moment, this man was sitting right in front of her, alive and well. The back seat was spacious, so Pei Nanshu sat opposite her. Lin Yan had no choice but to sit beside him. However, Lin Yan was sitting next to the window, so there was at least one seat between them. Mr. Pei. Lin Yan greeted him cautiously. Pei Yuqing raised his head, revealing a pair of dark eyes behind his glasses. Miss Lin. His deep husky voice was like a cello that resonated in the confined space of the car. For some reason, Lin Yan felt that she couldn't control herself when he called her Miss Lin. No. What happened to giving up on the beauty and getting rich overnight? When Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva was cultivating in the depths of the Prajnaparamita, he saw that the 5 skandhas were empty and passed through all sufferings. Sarira, form is not different from emptiness, and emptiness is not different from form. Form is emptiness and emptiness is form. The same goes for perception, action and consciousness. Chapter 125. Lin Yan was startled by Pei Yutong's sudden appearance. F***CK. Third young master. Why are you here? It's the weekend, so I don't have class. I'm here to be my brother's chauffeur. Pei Yutong grinned, revealing his cute canine teeth. It seemed like he was trying his best to behave after his mistake. Yutong, we can't stay here for long. Let's get out of here first, Pei Nanshu reminded him. All right. Pei Yutong started the engine. Lin Yan pressed her legs together and sat obediently like an elementary school student. The car drove out of the parking lot. Once outside, it was even more spectacular. It was a dense mass of fans. Some were holding signs, while others were holding banners. Lin Yan had read the news earlier. Her relationship with Lin Shuya had been exposed, and there was a storm of criticism online. It was even louder than before. Most of the people outside were Lin Shuya's fans. Many of them were Han Yishuan's fans as well. Coupled with the fans of other male celebrities, it was a spectacular sight to behold. For example, there was a banner that read, Lin Yan, get out of the entertainment industry, with the name, Feng Che, behind it. They were Tang Jia's fans. Lin Yan and dogs can't get close to her brother, with the name, Coconut Candy, behind it. They were obviously Tang Jia's fans. There was also a banner that read, Lin Yan is a B***TCH who deserves to be struck by lightning, with the name Yi Ren behind it. They were definitely Han Yishuan's fans. Pei Yutong gasped in amazement as he drove. Big sister-in-law, you're awesome. You have so many rumored boyfriends. Lin Yan's face darkened when she heard him. Why did you mention my rumored boyfriends in front of your big brother and my current boyfriend? Did you want me to die? Pei Yutong realized that he had said something wrong. To ease the awkwardness, he hurriedly turned on the radio. Ahem. Let's listen to some music. Let me play some music. The end of the song ended on the channel, and then the entertainment news began to play. The female reporter said, Today, we are going to talk about the female celebrity with the most rumored boyfriends. Lin Yan was speechless. She had a bad feeling about this. The female reporter said, I don't think I have to say it. Everyone knows. She was the actress who had just been revealed to be Lin Shuya's biological sister. According to incomplete statistics, her rumored boyfriends include Han Yishuan, Shen Chaomu, Tang Jia, Wei Shufeng. Pei Yutong. Pei Yuqing was speechless. Lin Yan was speechless. Every time a name was announced, Lin Yan felt as though her image had crumbled. By the end, her face was as white as a sheet. The scene of an overturned car was nothing more than this. Lin Yan's body stiffened as she turned to peek at Pei Yuqing's reaction. The latter still maintained the posture of supporting his forehead, his gaze indifferently looking at the crazy fans outside the window. It was impossible to see through the emotions in his eyes behind the lenses. The calmer he looked, the more terrified Lin Yan became. Pei Yutong was dumbfounded as well. He hadn't expected to hear gossip about his sister-in-law on the radio. Thus, Pei Yutong changed the channel in a fluster. After changing the channel, the broadcast was, "Recently, Lin Yan has been rumored to be with a famous actor, Pei Nonchu." Nonchu was speechless. Lin Yan was speechless. Chapter 126. This time, it was about big sister-in-law and second brother. Pei Yutong's hair stood on end. Lin Yan and Pei Nonchu's eyes darted to Pei Yutong's sinful paws. Pei Yutong, who was still in a daze, hurriedly switched off the radio when he sensed their gazes. After he switched off the radio, the car fell into a deathly silence. His big brother, who had cheated on the entire entertainment industry, had actually been cheated on one day? Pei Yutong shuddered as he curled up in front. He was as quiet as a chicken, not daring to breathe loudly. Why did I have to be in the car? I should have been under the car. Lin Yan was the most pitiful one. She even felt like killing herself. However, at this moment, a crazy idea popped up in her mind. Should she take this opportunity to break up with Pei Yutong? Lin Yan crept closer to the front seat and whispered to Pei Yutong, "Third young master, what would happen if your brother discovered that his girlfriend had cheated on him?" Pei Yutong sounded like he was about to cry. "How would I know? My brother has never been cheated on before. He is usually the one who cheated on others." Lin Yan replied, "Just guess." Pei Yutong replied, "Guess? That would probably mean the end of the world." Lin Yan asked, That's scary?" Pei Yutong quipped, "That's why I said that you don't know my brother at all. If you knew what my brother used to be like, you would have fled thousands of miles away." Lin Yan was speechless. In the end, Lin Yan gave up on this idea. She should choose a safer way to break up with him. Why should she take things so hard? Besides, she wasn't sure about her physical condition. She could lose control at any time and do something to Pei Yutong. She needed the identity of his girlfriend to protect her life. Then, she glanced at Pei Yutong cautiously and explained, "Mr. Pei, you might not know much about the entertainment industry. Actually, the entertainment news has always been nonsense. I don't have to remind you about Mr. Pei. After all, he's your biological brother, so he's as noble as you are. He's a helpful person. Those people are just using their dirty thoughts to make wild guesses. As for the other people, that's nonsense. It's impossible." Lin Yan said righteously, "I'm not blind. Why would I like them? I have very high standards, okay? And that Han Yishuan is my ex-boyfriend, but he's just a scumbag. It's even more impossible for me to have anything to do with him. People say that people can't forget their ex because their new lover isn't good enough, so I definitely don't exist. My boyfriend instantly killed more than 10 of his Milky Way." Nonchu was speechless. Pei Yutong, "That's amazing, Dad." Not only did he explain the misunderstanding, but he also praised his big brother to death in every sentence. Pei Yutong was full of admiration for him. "Eldest sister-in-law, where did you learn your flattery skills? Can you teach me?" Pei Yutong asked sincerely. Lin Yan glared at him. "Nonsense. What kind of flattery is that?" "I'm speaking from the bottom of my heart." Pei Yutong replied, Yes. Dad, whatever you say is right." Lin Yan had been talking for a long time, but Pei Yutong remained silent. His expression was hidden in the shadows. She didn't know what Pei Yutong's attitude was either, so she swallowed her saliva and pressed on. "Anyway, Mr. Pei, these are all rumors. I have nothing to do with them. I know that President Pei is a busy man, so you wouldn't be bothered by such trivial matters. However, to avoid any unnecessary misunderstandings, I think it's better for me to explain." Pei Yutong put down the document in his hand and stretched out his slender fingers to tug at his tie. In an instant, he looked more casual and unruly than before. The man propped his forehead on his hand and glanced at the girl beside him. "Miss Lin, you flatter me." "I don't deserve such flattery," Lin Yan asked. "Huh?" Lin Yan couldn't figure out what Pei Yutong was talking about. Pei Yutong studied the flustered and confused girl and said in a low, hoarse voice, "I will be jealous." Chapter 127. Lin Yan coughed and coughed. At that moment, Lin Yan felt as though she was a boiling kettle. She hadn't expected Pei Yuqing to say that he would be jealous. He wasn't angry or blaming her. He merely told her that he would be jealous when he heard that she had an affair with another man. Lin Yan felt as though she was about to die. "Mommy, I think I'm in love. I'm going to lose all my money." Pei Yutong, who was single, was speechless. Pei Nanshu, who was also single, was speechless. Why did he feel as though he was shining? He had thought that the end of the world had come. Who would have thought that he would be showered with dog food? Pei Nanshu coughed softly and said, "Brother, you know that most of the gossip is just to attract attention. It's not reliable." Lin Yan fell silent, as though she had thought of something. After some time, she raised her head hesitantly and glanced at the man beside her. "Mr. Pei, you should know that I'm being disliked by everyone on the internet. I have no morals and no acting skills. Not only did I hurt my sister, but I also have a bunch of rumored boyfriends. Everyone is scolding me. Don't you mind?" She didn't believe that Pei Yuqing wouldn't be able to find out her background. Hence, she had always been curious as to why Pei Yuqing had agreed to let her be his girlfriend so easily. Even if he hadn't known at the time, he would have found out later on. After all, even Pei Yutong knew about it. Because there were too many illogical things, she hadn't felt that it was real. Even Pei Yutong, who was driving, pricked up his ears when he heard Lin Yan's question. He was curious too. When he had heard the news from second brother, he had wanted to know what big brother was thinking. Lin Yan noticed that the man's eyes seemed to have turned cold. Then he replied, "I do mind." This was an answer that she had expected, but for some reason, Lin Yan's heart still skipped a beat. She was just about to say something when the man added, "Do you need my help to deal with them?" Of course, he would mind those people who scolded her. Lin Yan was speechless. Pei Yutong was speechless. Pei Nanshu was speechless. Lin Yan coughed violently again. "Ahem. No. It's fine. Why didn't President Pei play by the rules? Her life wasn't enough for him to flirt with. How could he help her get rid of someone else indiscriminately?" However, she couldn't help but be moved by his unconditional trust. She was used to everyone not believing in her, but this man had never doubted her. Lin Yan waved her hands frantically. "It's just a small problem. I can solve it myself." Pei Yutong struggled to digest the second round of public display of affection. "Big sister-in-law, you're too low profile. I've read some gossip about Lin Shuya's connections in the entertainment industry. Come on, no matter how powerful he is, can he be more powerful than sister-in-law?" "Sister-in-law, you're obviously the one with the best connections in the entertainment industry. Why don't you just bring my big brother out?" Lin Yan was speechless. If she did, she would be torn to pieces. Besides, it would affect Pei Yuqing. Her biggest problem now was not being suppressed, but the dirty water splashed on her. Although she was mocking herself just now, who would be blind to fall for her? Chapter 128. Lin Yan shook her head and pursed her lips. "Forget it then. What if they scold your brother for being blind? Let's talk about it after I succeed." Pei Yutong stole a glance at his brother through the rearview mirror. He was certain that big brother really liked Lin Yan. Hence, Pei Yutong replied, "What's wrong with that? Big brother wouldn't care." Lin Yan blurted out without hesitation, "That won't do. Your brother doesn't care, but I do. Your brother is the best and the most perfect. That's why his girlfriend has to be the best." Silence reigned once more in the car. Pei Yuqing's eyes seemed to ripple unnoticeably. Pei Yutong's tears streamed down his cheeks as he drove. "Big sister-in-law, please do me a favor. My second brother and I are still single." Pei Nanshu coughed softly and chuckled helplessly. Lin Yan's cheeks heated up uncontrollably. She had actually blurted out those words unconsciously. When she said them out loud, even she herself was shocked. F***ck. Was she too immersed in her role? She couldn't tell if she had said those words to coax Pei Yuqing or if she had meant it. Lin Yan coughed softly. "Anyway, thank you for your trust, Mr. Pei. Don't worry, I will handle this myself." The man's eyes regained their usual composure as he said, "Okay." As the three of them conversed, the car drove through the crowd of fans. Lin Yan glanced out of the window with lingering fear in her heart. Who would have thought that she would be sitting in this car with Pei Nanshu, Pei Yutong, and Pei Yuqing? Lin Yan told Pei Yutong her address and the car stopped at the entrance of the apartment building. Pei Yuqing got out of the car and walked Lin Yan in. They didn't say a word along the way, and soon, they arrived at the apartment building. Lin Yan, who had always been emotionless, felt helpless as she stood before the man. Ahem. Mr. Pei, thank you for coming to pick me up today. You're welcome. It's my duty. Pei Yuqing's tone was distant as he lit a cigarette. Looking at the man's expression, he seemed to be a little absent-minded, and his mood seemed to be a little irritated. Perhaps he was thinking about work? He must have wasted a lot of time coming over to pick her up. Lin Yan hastily replied, If there's nothing else, I'll head up first. Pei Yuqing replied, Okay. Hence, Lin Yan prepared to leave. Miss Lin. However, she had only taken a few steps when she heard the man's voice behind her. Ha! Lin Yan instinctively turned around. Why? Before she could ask what was going on, the man extinguished the cigarette in his hand and suddenly walked towards her. What followed was a slightly cold kiss, accompanied by a forest's fresh scent, mixed with a faint smell of tobacco, lightly landing on the corner of her lips. Lin Yan was as stiff as a rock as she stared blankly at the man who had suddenly kissed her. The man stared at her, his deep eyes filled with her reflection. Seeing the girl staring at him blankly, the irritation in the man's eyes deepened, as if he was dissatisfied with himself for losing control. Chapter 129. Good night. What good night? She was afraid that she wouldn't be able to sleep tonight. Lin Yan had always thought that Pei Yuqing was the kind of person who would treat her with respect, even if they were married. However, the truth had proven otherwise. Whether it was the way he addressed her or the way he interacted with her, he maintained a distance that was only slightly more than that of a stranger. However, when it came to flirting with her, he didn't hesitate at all. She felt her heart skip a beat every time, but she couldn't say anything. After all, given their current relationship, there was nothing wrong with Pei Yuqing's actions. After she returned home, she lay in bed for a long time before her heartbeat returned to normal. Before she slept, she didn't forget to update her Weibo account. It had been a few days since she registered her new account. She would post something every day. If she didn't have anything special to post, she would post the same thing. For example, the post she had just posted. The only way to solve his worries was to get rich. Did I get rich today? No. Today, Lin Shuya had been interviewed by the reporters and they had revealed their sisterly relationship. Many people had been staring at Lin Yan's Weibo account, waiting for her to post something. Who would have thought that she would post something like this after waiting for a whole day? Damn it! Other than getting rich, why didn't this woman have anything else to post? Why did she have to post the same thing every day? Lin Yan didn't read the comments. Instead, she flipped through some books and went to bed. The next day, Lin Yan didn't need to film. She didn't have any other work to do, so Zhao Hongling gave her some free time. She was only a supporting actress in Meeting One's Match, so she didn't have many scenes. She would be joining the cast a few days later. Hence, Lin Yan made use of her free time to visit the hospital. Lin Yan had been in a bad state ever since she had returned to the country. Initially, she had visited a psychiatrist for a while. However, she had given up on her treatment and even stopped halfway through her left leg rehabilitation. If she wanted to start afresh, she needed to be in good health. Lin Yan made an appointment with the psychiatrist. Her teammate had recommended her to her, so she could trust her. Miss Lin, long time no see. The psychiatrist greeted her warmly. Lin Yan replied, Long time no see, doctor, and the female doctor looked at her and asked with a smile, Is there anything I can help you with? Lin Yan replied, I would like to ask for your help. I haven't taken any medication recently, so I'm not sure how I'm recovering. The female doctor glanced at the girl and smiled. I think Miss Lin doesn't need to be examined. From the moment Miss Lin stepped in, I can see that you're recovering very well. Lin Yan stroked her face. Am I? Is it that obvious? The female doctor. Did something happy happen? Lin Yan blinked innocently. Something happy? The female doctor probed. Are you in love? Lin Yan's eyes widened. How did you know that? Lin Yan sensed that something was amiss. That wasn't right. Although she was in love, it wasn't real. Wasn't she just pretending to be in love? Chapter 130. Lin Yan scratched her head. She was well aware of her own condition. Many things have happened recently. I've thought things through and I'm feeling much better. Thank you, Dr. An.
You're welcome. How is the situation you mentioned previously?
Asked Dr. An. Lin Yan had mentioned to Dr. An that something was wrong with her. Lin Yan sighed and replied, I was about to tell you about this. This is the reason why I'm here today. There hasn't been anything like this recently, but I'm still worried. Dr. An nodded and said, You've undergone a thorough examination, so there shouldn't be anything wrong with your body. I'm guessing that it might be a psychological problem. Dr. An pondered for a moment before he added, Miss Lin, have you ever considered that the things you did when you lost your memory might have been your subconscious's true wish?
Ha! Lin Yan was confused. True wish? Wouldn't that mean that she was the pervert?
That's impossible.
Lin Yan coughed softly.
Dr. An smiled and said, Actually, in psychology, this kind of situation also happens. Some patients subconsciously have a strong desire to do something, but they usually suppress this desire. As time goes by, it might lead to a situation like yours. You might do it without knowing it and lose your memory afterward. Is it also my imagination that I'm talking to myself? That's a possibility.
Lin Yan pondered for a moment.
Actually, compared to schizophrenia and ghosts, Dr. An's explanation was more believable.
Let's not talk about seeing a ghost.
She was just trying to find a doctor in a desperate situation. As for schizophrenia, there were many other symptoms. Other than a few accidents, everything else was normal. It wouldn't affect her life and mental state at all. However, F***CK. If these were her subconscious thoughts, wouldn't this be even more terrifying? Why did she feel as though the main character in a fantasy novel had a demon in her heart? No matter what, Lin Yan felt more at ease now that she was in a stable condition. As for whether she was a pervert or a demon in her heart, perhaps she would be able to return to normal when she fully recovered. After leaving the clinic, Lin Yan headed to the rehabilitation department to make an appointment with the doctor. She had paid for a whole year's worth of rehabilitation classes before, but she had been too dispirited. Although she had made an appointment, she had not gone to the training. When she was abroad, her leg had recovered by more than half after treatment and training. Now that it was interrupted, she had to start all over again. However, the last thing she was afraid of was starting over. In a private training room, Lin Yan repeated the boring and difficult movements with the help of the physiotherapist. After 2 hours, Lin Yan was drenched in sweat. The physiotherapist recognized the patient immediately. She was Lin Yan, who had been the subject of much gossip recently. Chapter 131. The physiotherapist couldn't help but strike up a conversation. Miss Lin, you're amazing. Most people would groan in pain in less than 10 minutes. You didn't even frown after 2 hours. Really? Lin Yan chuckled and put on a long face. Actually, I've been crying in my heart. You just don't know. Rehabilitation training had been painful, but she had been through much harsher training before, so she was used to it. The physiotherapist, who hadn't expected her to say that, couldn't help but chuckle. He hadn't expected Lin Yan to be so approachable. She wasn't as pretentious and mean as the rumors had made her out to be. The physiotherapist couldn't help but chime in, Miss Lin, this is a serious mechanical injury. Your bones and muscles are severely injured. If you hadn't gotten a good doctor to operate on you, I'm afraid your leg would have been crippled. How did you get such a serious injury? Lin Yan, who was taken aback, replied casually, There was a small accident. It was a car accident. If it was that serious, it couldn't be considered a small accident, right? After all, this was a private matter. The physiotherapist nodded and didn't probe further. Today's training has ended. Remember to come on time next week. You really can't delay your recovery any longer. If you come any later, the muscles in your leg will be completely fused and you won't be able to recover. In the future, your high-precision movements will be affected. Lin Yan nodded. Got it. Thank you. The discussions on the internet were getting more and more intense. Meeting One's Match had been releasing photos of the celebrities, which had become a hot topic several times. Pei Nanshu's appearance in the movie had garnered a lot of praise. Jiang Sifei's photo had been edited so much that it didn't even look like her. Fans and netizens had also praised her. Although Jiang Sifei's photo had obviously been edited, she had managed to maintain a good reputation and reputation. Her fans had a good impression of her and were convinced of her acting skills. Hence, the comments below the photo were filled with praises and anticipation. Lin Yan hadn't taken any photos, so the official website hadn't released any photos of her character, Lin Pianruo. She was supposed to be the fourth female lead, so it wouldn't have mattered much. However, Meeting One's Match was adapted from a novel of the same name. In the novel, Lin Pianruo's character wasn't written much, but a group of die-hard fans loved her. Hence, when the casting list was officially announced, almost all the fans were enraged when they saw that Lin Yan was going to be their goddess. What infuriated the fans the most was the fact that the fourth female lead, Lin Pianruo, and the fourth male lead, Feng Canyang, were playing the role of Wei Shufeng, who had become popular in the past 2 years. In the movie, Lin Pianruo was the domineering female CEO, while Feng Canyang was the domineering female CEO's little wolf dog. Fans of the novel had been looking forward to seeing Lin Pianruo as a couple. Yet Lin Yan had chosen to play the role of Lin Pianruo. It felt like he had been fed a pile of sh*t. Therefore, the anger of the book's fans, with some people adding fuel to the fire, directly expanded infinitely.
Chapter 132. F***CK. How could my Su and Lin Yan act as a couple? The production team is going crazy. Lin Yan is so ugly, yet she looks so innocent. How could she portray my Queen Pianruo? Did they cast a spell on Meeting One's Match? Boycott Meeting One's Match. If Lin Yan is cast as Lin Pianruo, I will never watch this show. Isn't she making a fool of herself? Damn it! Didn't you see that the production team hasn't even released a photo of Lin Pianruo? You know that Lin Yan can't be seen in public. After the official announcement of the cast, Wei Shufeng's fans started to tear into Lin Yan. Some of them even photoshopped Lin Yan's black and white photo. Lin Yan didn't respond at all. The only interaction she had with the netizens was, "Did you strike it rich today?" No, Lin Yan didn't know much about Wei Shufeng. She had only heard rumors about him. She simply liked to listen to his songs. She had heard that the Wei family was in the jewelry industry and was a wealthy family in the capital city. Wei Shufeng was the youngest and most beloved son of the Wei family. In terms of music, Wei Shufeng was indeed talented. He had studied music at a young age and made his debut at the age of 18. He had composed, arranged, played, and sung well. He was comparable to a band. When he had first debuted, he had swept the music industry with his exceptional talent. Subsequently, he had entered the film and television industry. He was considered a genius. Yet, such a talented man had fallen for Lin Shuya's charms. Both of them worked under Triumph Entertainment. Wei Shufeng could be considered Lin Shuya's senior brother. When Lin Shuya had just debuted, Wei Shufeng had specially groomed her and introduced her to many opportunities. It could be said that he had taken good care of her. Fans had even started to spread rumors about them, but they had been cleared up eventually. They had merely claimed that they were just brothers and sisters. They were a perfect couple, so it wouldn't be a big deal even if there were some rumors about them. Instead, it would be the icing on the cake. Many fans even believed that they were a couple. Although the fans weren't aware of it, the insiders in the industry knew that Wei Shufeng had fallen in love with Lin Shuya. Even after she had started dating Han Yixuan, he had still pursued her relentlessly. With her angelic appearance, Lin Shuya had many admirers and supporters. Wei Shufeng was just one of them. Previously, Pei Yutong had said that Lin Shuya had connections, and it wasn't groundless. Lin Shuya's father was the chairman of Triumph Entertainment, Lin Yuetong. Her boyfriend was the heir of the Han Corporation, Han Yixuan. Her senior brother was a talented musician, Wei Shufeng, and her piano teacher was the renowned pianist, Yu Zihong. Her professional mentor was the vice president of the Imperial Capital Film Academy. She was like the heroine in those novels who had the halo of the main character. Everyone loved and cared for her, and she would often meet noble people. The talented young men around her were all infatuated with her kindness and beauty, unable to extricate themselves. In comparison, Lin Yan seemed like a vicious female antagonist. Just as the situation was heating up, the article about Lin Yan and Wei Shufeng's scandal surfaced again. They even claimed that Wei Shufeng was infatuated with Lin Yan, which made his fans even more disgusted. Lin Yan didn't have to guess to know that this was Lin Shuya's way of making people hate her. When she had first found out that Wei Shufeng was going to be Fang Kanyang's actor, Lin Yan had already predicted this. At that time, this young Master Wei would definitely cause a huge ruckus. Indeed, not only had Wei Shufeng liked the article about how Lin Yan had bullied his sister, but he had also gone online to repost the gossip about them. You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.